There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
We are live. It is the Squared Circle Digest, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. instead of 8 p.m. We're going to start this off a little bit earlier. I am Sean Stanley, and that man down there is the great Frankie Fresco. Sir, I acknowledge you, Frankie Fresco. Oh, he's the final boss now. You change it. The acknowledgement gets beat, so now he's the final boss. The final boss, Frankie Fresco.
Nothing like being the final boss, especially after he's taking a hiatus, and then eventually we'll be coming back for that WWE title. So,
yes, and Roman Reigns sends out the Instagram. What did he say? How did he say it? He's on a treadmill walking, and he says, "Mourned yesterday, today, day one."
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. We gotta take it as we see it, you know?
Yeah, no, it was a great weekend, a great week, man, a great week of wrestling, because you technically, Wednesday was, I mean, if you want to start from Raw last Monday, it went Raw, NXT, Dynamite. You started with, you have TNA on Thursday if you get the channel, and you also had the event starting at WrestleMania with the WWE World and all that. Then that rolled into Friday, which you had SmackDown, the Hall of Fame. Saturday, you had WWE NXT, and of course, WrestleMania Night 1. Sunday rolled into the Slammies, which then rolled into Night 2, which then rolled into Raw last night. And then we're back to NXT right now. I mean, the buzz right now, Frankie Fresco, that is around what this world we call pro wrestling, whether you're WWE, AEW, TNA, NWA, New Japan, Indies, whatever. The buzz, man, is fantastic for pro wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, you forgot to mention Collision at 11:30 at night on Saturday as well.
Geez. My fault.
How can we not forget wrestling at 11:30? It ended at 1:30 in the morning. So
yeah, because the accident started at 11:30. It got pushed back because the game went long, right?
Yeah, the March Madness went like about 10 more minutes longer. So it was like we had to miss out. We had to stay up a little bit late for everybody in the East Coast. But
that help you out on the East Coast, man. Crazy. Bad enough they start the game so late for the national championship game, but now you got wrestling starting at 11:30.
How dare
Come on, people gotta go to sleep, man. People gotta go to sleep.
Yeah.
All right, so WrestleMania in the books, Frankie. We're gonna go into some of the main matches. We'll listen to the chat, see what they thought, and everything else. But of course, we got to start with Saturday. The odds get stacked against Cody. Again, if you didn't watch any of our pre-shows, shame on you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you don't subscribe to Stanley Media House YouTube channel or the Frankie Fresco YouTube channel, because you could have seen it there.
Yep.
But if you didn't, Frankie, we both kind of. Well, no, you thought Roman was going to win, right? You had actually went with Roman, right?
Saturday I had Roman, and then Sunday I had Roman as well.
Yes. And let me tell you, man, with everything that happened there, man, when you look back at this whole story, the way Cody finishes the story dates back to when Cody wasn't even in WWE.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Think about this. Think about that. Because now, it's like, so you look at Roman, okay? After everything, again, we sat there and we fantasy booked and we said, oh, the Samoan dynasty will come out and we're going to get Dustin and Ricky Stark's picture was shown. It's like, oh, maybe he'll be there. QT Marshall. You're thinking, again, a fantasy booking. None of that happens. Okay. It's John Cena. And I did think my understanding was I thought Stone Cold was going to be there. I thought they had worked out the thing that he was going to be there. Obviously that didn't happen. Undertaker comes into that role. He was the Braun Breaker to the Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. So then the match goes on and everything happens. And it's like, you hear Sierra, Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta. And it's like, Shield. The hell is this doing? Like, some people were like,
where was Team Ambrose?
Well, I know some people were like, wait, Ambrose is there? And I was thinking, like, but I was trying to figure out, and I'm thinking back all this stuff. And then as things started unwinding and everything started playing it back, when you look at what Seth Rollins told Cody Rhodes at the Raw, he said, there's nobody to be a better shield for you than me. And I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember exactly how he said, but that's pretty much what he says. And then it comes out and he hits the music. And Roman Reigns does the Superman punch while he's holding the chair to hit the Rock. Then he finally works his way up after all the stuff with the Undertaker. John Cena comes out with Solo Sikoa, all that stuff. The Undertaker chokeslams the final boss, not Frankie Fresco, but the final boss, The Rock. Roman Reigns crawls back into the ring. Cody's crawling for the chair. He misses it. Roman gets the chair. And he's staring at Cody. But then he looks over, and there's the Shield member with his back to him, crawling up this ropes himself. And for the first time that I can remember, Roman went for revenge over being smart and retaining the title. And in the end, Seth is Cody's shield, and Cody finishes the story. I mean, the storytelling, is just, kudos. Kudos. This story started before Cody even got into the damn company. Well, returned to the company. I'm sorry, because he had already been there, but until he returned.
I think what they did was they implemented stuff like this. I don't think that was something that they kind of wanted to, but I at the same time, I really.
I'm sure in 2000 they weren't like, hey, look, we're going to get Cody back here in 2024. So let's do it this way so that we can reenact it perfectly in 2024 at WrestleMania 40.
But I think what tends to happen is that there's so many stories in WWE that are kind of like open. They're left open. So they could always go back and be like, okay, let's go and bring this back. Like, for example, John Cena coming back. Yep. It makes perfect sense because Solo beat him last year at WrestleMania. So we should have thought about that. We also went ahead and we said, hey, if the Shield comes out, obviously I think not only do I feel that the fans got confused because we thought Dean Ambrose was gonna come out, which would have been badass if he would have come out. But obviously he didn't. But here comes Seth, and then obviously, like what you said, I think Roman Reigns kind of got so confused, just like the fans did. He thought Dean Ambrose was gonna show up, so he decided to just go hit Seth Rollins with the chair and get revenge for it. So I mean, it was good. And now the Undertaker, I don't know how I guess the Undertaker, the whole, Undertaker, the Rock type of, like beef that they've always had, or I guess the type of like
Yeah, again,
memories
that
and stuff like
wasn't
that.
originally scheduled to be the Undertaker spot. That was supposed to be the beer drinking 316. That didn't get worked out, so they had to throw in. And I guess when you do it, it's who's the most respected guy in the locker room ever?
Undertaker.
Undertaker. So, I mean, again, that's the only hole that you could find in this whole thing is like, where does the Undertaker fit in? But then you could say, well, he's just tired of The Rock talking his loudness and final boss and all this stuff. And he came to straighten that out.
Well,
I mean, like you can write in the Undertaker just because of the respect that he demands.
I mean, if there's okay, so the things that I liked about that obviously Sunday night matchup was I like the fact that they let the fight go on for a while before they started bringing out the people. I thought that was smart because you're still giving Cody and Roman their time. And you didn't want them to get overshadowed by all the guests that were going to come in and get involved. So I thought that was smart from the WWE. I also like the fact that I think the Usos kind of, I mean, I know it wasn't that much, but the Usos kind of recovered a little bit. They kind of, they did a little bit of a better job on Sunday than what they did on Saturday.
They
So
did a great job in the 30 seconds they had.
Yes. Yeah. So that was something that I really enjoyed. I like the fact that they surprised us with John Cena, of course. I love the fact that John Cena, when he saw The Rock, he was shitting on his pants. I love that. He was like, he didn't know what to do. And I think that goes to show you that eventually, maybe in the long run, it could possibly be maybe a Rock Cena again at one point in time before the Cena decides to retire. Um, I think the thing that I really didn't like was obviously the Shield thing. I mean, I get it and all that stuff, but it was just confusing with the whole Dean Ambrose. I really honestly thought
but
Dean Ambrose
that's
was
because,
show up.
again, it goes back to what I said before the show when we were talking about all these fantasy bookings, right? You hear the Shield music and you go, oh, it's Dean Ambrose. Dude,
Well,
the contract, man. Like, why would you think?
Wait,
Dean Ambrose, though.
Wait, because you were going ahead and like giving this dream possibility that
fantasy booking. I was saying Dustin comes out, Ricky Starks comes out, MJF shows up. That's fantasy booking, but you can't get mad and be like, "Oh, they confused the audience." The audience confused themselves. They hit music.
No,
they on a button, and it was the Shield music, and you thought Dean Ambrose was going to be back.
Well, because the Shield is 3 of them. It's not just 2 of them. That's why.
Yes, but the story is between 2 people because now a lot of the stuff that you heard in the podcast now makes sense. Roman in a podcast said, the one thing I'll never forget about is I didn't want the Shield to end.
He did say that.
Seth wanted the Shield to end. Seth made the decision to end the Shield. And now you fast forward to, that was said, through the week, and bam, it was setting up for that moment.
Yeah, but it took like a couple of minutes, like a minute or so before Seth came out. And then you're looking for, that's why it also got confusing because we were like, wait, hold on, is Dean Ambrose coming? Because he didn't pop out quickly. It took a while, and we were looking at
he came through the back and he was waiting for the thing. I think,
but it took a while.
To be Roman coming through the Superman punch him before that. I think there was an issue him getting into the ring because he came through the crowd the backside.
Yeah, so
there
that's
was a
why
little bit of thing.
Off.
I don't think he was supposed to be on screen until he went to swing the chair, and then Roman took him out because Seth took a Superman punch and he took a chair shot. He touched nobody in that match.
He did.
That was his whole thing in that match, being Cody's Shield and taking the chair shot.
Well, the other thing too is that we should have thought about that. That makes sense why the Drew McIntyre fight was the very first one, because it was like, okay, there's no way if he would have been the second to last match, he would be able to show up immediately because he was going to get involved with someone way or another.
That, and then also, I mean, dude, you gave the crowd the cash in, and we'll discuss that in a little bit. And then the next match would be the Cody one. Like, I mean, night 2 was it. When I look back at the way they did everything, I think they were very smart on how they did it. They didn't overkill the audience in night 1, and it was cold, and I get all the other stuff, but They could have easily thrown out the kitchen sink in that Bloodline match, and they didn't because they knew Sunday they wanted to mean something. And if you remember what Triple H even said in a thing about a promo about blood and all this stuff, he's like, if you get it all the time, it means nothing. So if they would have done all that the night before, everything they would have done on night 2 means nothing. Even if it's different people, even if it's John Cena, it's The Undertaker, it means nothing because you just saw it the night before.
Yeah. And I going back as well, another thing besides the Shield moment I wasn't too fond of. I like The Undertaker coming out. And I know you're gonna criticize me, and I know people might criticize me watching the show.
Sir. It's constructive criticism. So
All
I guess
right, you guys
criticizing, but
so you guys are gonna get mad at me, but I would loved to have seen the old Taker. I know he retired already, and he said
that
he
is
gonna.
The dumbest thing I've ever heard.
No. You bring the old Taker, I would have been badass. You dressed up as the old Taker.
He said he's done with that.
I know.
You can't bring back that anymore because he said
WrestleMania moment.
No. But once he did that documentary, he said he pulled back the curtain on what The Undertaker is. You can't go back to being the menacing unknown thing after you know my whole life now.
Nah, he could.
The whole thing about the old Undertaker was the mystique.
He could still pull it off, man. You bring in the old Undertaker. Would have been nice to have seen him dressed up as the.
I could have,
or like a version.
Saying what my man Mimo here is saying. American Badass. Come on now.
A different
that
version.
Motorcycle.
Yeah, but we didn't see that. We just saw them go. Okay, so that's the thing. All right, if you're gonna tell American Badass Taker, then you turn off all the lights, you play the American Badass song, and he rides down with his fucking motorcycle. And now you have that. They went in ahead and played the Taker song. They turn off all the lights, and then you get American Badass Taker. Come on. Hey, I'm just saying, it just.
No, but he wasn't the American. But see, again, this is where if they want to go with the whole thing and you want to play it out further, maybe that everybody's saying it's The Undertaker because of how we know it. That might have been Mark Calloway coming in because of the way The Rock is treating the business, and he came back to rectify the business. We're saying it's The Undertaker because he's The Undertaker to us.
No, because they played this Undertaker song.
They hit the gong. Yes.
Exactly. So then if you're going to play that song, then it's the Undertaker song. That's the thing. And that's why I criticize it, because you're selling me the Undertaker, not the American Badass Taker.
With everything, bro.
Not the American Badass.
Find something with everything.
I'm just telling you,
what this guy to do. Okay, so he's going to come down. The Rock, by the way, is holding a belt to whip Cody. Now he's going to sit there the whole time while this guy's riding down on a motorcycle.
The Mama Rhodes belt.
Waiting with the Mama Rhodes belt in his hand. Then the Taker's got to stop the motorcycle. He's got to hit the kickstand. The old Undertaker has got to get the motorcycle set up. Then he's got to climb up the road, climb into the ring, and then confront.
That's why the final boss is
before the Rock swings the belt.
The final boss is the final boss. He would have sold that. The final boss knows how to sell everything. So he would have sold it. Look at yesterday, man. Look at all that. Look how long that segment was. He still sells it.
6 minutes. That opening segment. I know Triple H took the first 5 or 10 with Cody, but they win the whole thing. Hey, what do you think? What do you think he handed him?
I don't know. I don't know what he handed him. He probably should have handed him maybe a napkin or something for our crybabies are finally happy and shit. I don't know. It's just.
Well, I've been going back. I've been thinking the whole time, what did him and Cody have? What do they have in common? And I don't know. Maybe it's something between their dads that their dads shared because they did team up for a little bit of time.
Yeah, Mimos has a good point. A ticket to his new movie. There you go.
Yeah, no, it could be. I mean, but it's about the storytelling because I know, and when we talk about all this stuff with WrestleMania, and a lot of people are, I know Chad poo-pooed on the whole Rock holding the belt and putting it on, and
wait, Cody. But there's a lot of people who are criticizing that.
Yeah, but I think because you're not understanding, at least again, I'm going to go with what I believe is happening right here. You saw Cody holding the People's Championship. You saw Rock holding the WWE championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, he said, don't you forget, I'm their champion. I'm the WWE champion. I'm your champion. So I think what's going to end up happening is it's going to be title against title.
You think The Rock is gonna put his
champion because Cody's going to become the people's champion now.
Nah, I don't know, man. They that belt that people's champion belt, I'm not a big fan of, but whatever. I thought they gave it to him because he needs to have something because he's the final boss. But
they did, but it'll go into where put title. Cody will be like, "Look, I'll give you a title shot, but you put your title on the line."
Maybe,
well. and then they
you just didn't see Cody do anything with the belt like The Rock did with the belt. You see The Rock put it on, and The Rock says, "Doesn't it look good on me?" Cody, in the meantime, was just holding the belt. He didn't do anything with it.
No, because
he was just holding
he's
it.
already the people's champ.
I mean,
he said it when he goes, "I'm their champ," without saying it. I'm the people's champ. I'm their champ, and the people went crazy.
People have been going crazy since Sunday. It's just, I mean, at the end of the day, it when it came to Sunday, I even though I picked Roman, I knew Cody was gonna win. As soon as I saw him with that entrance when he had the face mask and all that stuff, I was like,
Randy walked out and
there's no way this guy's gonna lose.
No way he's losing, bro. There's no way. You know what? Honestly, though, I figured he wasn't losing once they put the odds against him.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like okay, now everything's stacked against him to where you're going. There's no way he's losing. He might get his ass whooped and he might be, laid out or whatever, but there's no way he can lose. Not after, because you talked about it as well in the night one no way Roman's losing twice.
Yeah.
I just didn't think that Cody can lose twice.
And now I will say this. I'm a little bit upset at Cody.
Oh boy, here we go.
And the reason the reason I am upset at Cody, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, and I'm sorry, but if I'm Cody, I'm gonna put screw WWE, screw AEW. I'm gonna shout out my brother. He's there, and he didn't shout out his brother at all. And I know his brother can't come out. I get it. But I still would have mentioned his name. I don't care if I get in trouble with WWE. Right now, I'm on the top of WWE. What are they going to do? Fire me? Get out of here. I would have gone ahead and given kudos to my brother. When he went in, he gave kudos to, I think he gave it to Triple H and to, who was the other guy he mentioned? There was somebody else he mentioned that. Yes. So
I love you, brother. Love.
Why, like, you got your mom out there. You got your wife. You got I think his daughter was out there as well. Why don't you mention your brother? Your brother's in attendance. I don't know, man. I know he can't come out. I get it. But mention his name, man. That's your brother. And it's not like they have a really bad relationship. They have a solid relationship. So I would have at least. That's the only thing I didn't like about Cody, that I wish he would have mentioned his brother. I would have mentioned my brother. If I was Cody Rhodes, I don't care if my brother Nick was on AEW. I would have gone ahead and say, and you know what? This is for my brother as well, Nick. I see you. At least something.
Yeah, but his brother gets a chance to do the same thing this Wednesday. I mean,
come on, man.
Is he going to call out Cody when he beats Samoa Joe?
First and foremost, he's not beating Samoa Joe. That's and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the AEW.
Oh, you know what? You're right. AEW wants to be so different from WWE. No way they let a Rhodes finish the story.
We'll talk about the AEW portion of the segment, because that was ridiculous what they're doing to Dustin, and that just pissed me off when I saw that. Like.
Yeah, it's
segment.
We'll get into that in a little bit. Let's talk next. And again, we could go 2 hours probably on the first two matches we're going to talk about because of everything that happened and transpired. Did you see that? That was pretty cool. Didn't even know. Dropping the mic. All right. Seth Rollins, night one, gets beat up. Night two opens the show, taking on Drew McIntyre. And let me tell you something. I had flashbacks of Sheamus versus Bryan or Daniel Bryan at the time. The Sheamus did his brogue kick right out of the gate and pinned him in 11 seconds.
I thought that was going to happen too.
Claymore, and I was like, no damn way, not no way.
I thought that was going to happen.
And then he kicked out, and I was like, and to be honest with you, I mean, Seth got some of his stuff in there, but Drew controlled that match.
Yeah, man. I mean, I love the fact that he started with the Claymore, and the
Mm.
only that I got upset again and again, I'm a constructive criticism type of
Do it.
guy.
What do you got?
It's just the fact that he kept doing it. He kept doing Claiborne's left and right 24/7. What is this? Like, I was trying to think, like, is he Brock Lesnar? Because you know how Brock likes to do his finishing move every 5 minutes. So it's like, well, why did he kept doing it? That's the only thing I kind of got upset about that fight. But besides
Well,
that,
I think it was more about the fighting, Seth Rollins fighting out of it, because a Claymore usually puts everybody out.
yeah, but he kept doing like he did like 2 of them, and then he
He did
kicked
4 of them
out.
total in the match. He had 2 at the end
Look
to
at that,
finally
man.
pin him.
Yeah, dude, he was going ham on it.
Yeah.
Like,
And then what was funny to me too in this whole thing is Drew was like happy. He's crying. Like, it looked, again, holding the belt, and he's like, what the hell? And then he's, with his wife, he's looking so happy. And then his ego kicks in, man.
it does, man.
The Drew McIntyre ego kicks in. He's got to go talk to CM Punk.
It does. It comes to that. And you know what? In that portion of the match, that was the best part, because you saw something was going on, because it just kept following Drew, and he was just there, and he was just like, it
Taking
wasn't
forever, man.
yeah, it was taking forever. So I don't know if they were giving him a cue saying, wait, hold on, Damian Priest is getting ready in the back or something.
Hey,
But
Damien had a bathroom break. Bathroom
yeah,
break.
something must have happened, but he was taking a sweet time. And then that's when CM Punk came, and he took off his arm brace, and then all of a sudden he attacked him. And then here comes Damian Priest, which I think they nailed it. All of us were thrilled
Oh
to
no,
see
I
Damian
think they
Priest.
nailed you. But also the thing I think they were waiting to do was to make sure all the cameras were set up perfectly for each of the shots. I think they're trying to make sure everybody's in position. Good. Okay, now go over there, Drew, and then let's make sure we catch this moment, because I mean that was a moment. And then also, did you notice Seth looks back at him after the pinfall and was like, "You're the man."
Yeah.
He kind of brought up in the promo, was like, because we're warriors and we knew, and then this and that. And then, of course, they do the thing with CM Punk, and you find out CM Punk, apparently the injury's done.
Yes, sir.
Doesn't need the arm brace, and costs Drew the match or the title that night. And then last night, there's a number 1 contenders match 4-way. Drew's about to win, and CM Punk's face, all you see is his face, and Drew can't move his foot. And when they pan the camera, it's just CM Punk's face, like, I was like,
You want to know something, man? I honestly am impressed on how good these two are working together. For the fact that Drew McIntyre, his ego is like, I don't have to be champion. I just have to have a really good story.
Yes.
And to the point where I'm gonna be honest with you guys, that Drew McIntyre CM Punk is way bigger than Damian Priest versus Jey Uso. Now that Jey won it, I'm being honest with you, and that's impressive, because that goes to show you the chemistry these two guys are doing, and they're nailing it, man. I think I'm excited about it. I hope it keeps
Punk
going.
Also on Instagram sends out a thing, and now he's nailing over Drew McIntyre's grave now. Like, I mean, they're just hitting it out of the park everywhere you go, and it's just like, man. And the one thing that WWE, they got me on this one, because I didn't think they would do the cash in if it was the first match. I really didn't. I just thought it was like that's a moment, but they did it so well, and there was such, I guess, enough time in between it, and all the matches from there still kept going pretty good. I mean, I know it wasn't the whole as high as some of the other matches, but to me, night 2, the buzz and the feel of that whole night felt bigger than night 1. And I think it's what Triple H said at the end in the press conference was, we knew we had to build up and not, I guess, shoot the load too soon.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think they did with the match, the first match, the tag team match, is they nailed it, because they didn't have everybody interfering then, because they knew Sunday we're doing this. And I think that's the other thing, where with the cash in, they're like, we know what we got in the main event. We know Cena's coming out. We know Undertaker's coming out. We know it's going to get, so we can go ahead and do the cash in first, because we know the card's going to get to that elevated level by the time it gets to Cody and Roman.
Yes. I mean, in all phases of night 2, they hit the spot. And unlike day 1, there was no low point. All the matches were very solid. All the matches were fun. 3 belts got changed. So it was something that we all, that's why people are saying, is this the best WrestleMania of ever? But they always come with that. Every year they always say
Yeah,
that.
but every year it's always better than the last year. It seems like always there's that one moment where it's like, oh, okay, all right. It's just, it always happens that way. And this to me, this WrestleMania though did have more of those moments per se, because you had Bayley win the title.
Yeah.
You had Damian Priest cash in.
Yep.
You had Sami Zayn end Gunther's reign. And you had Cody Rhodes win the heavyweight title. And Drew also with the thing. You've had every belt except for Rhea Ripley change hands, including the tag team titles. Total reset, total new era, other than Rhea Ripley heading into Triple H's new era.
Yeah, and you know what? Shout out to No Doubt, man. Yes, I agree with him. 3 main belts are held by Hispanic wrestlers. I was happy to see that Bailey, Damian Priest, and of course Cody with his mom, who's Cuban, are able to go ahead and show support to the Hispanic community. And wrestling has always done that too. So that's why I think it's really cool that they've been able to do that stuff. I will go ahead and say, I was a little bit, out of all the matches, I really like the little kind of like new little things that the new wrinkles that they put on there. For example, on the street fight, I found out right after we logged off on Sunday, Snoop Dogg was gonna be in. So I was like, damn, I when I found out Snoop Dogg was gonna be there, I was like, nah, the Street Profits are gonna win.
That was the Rey Mysterio match of night one. They put all the guests into that. You had Bubba as the referee. You had Snoop out on commentary, which they should have kept Snoop out on commentary.
Oh my God, he was so good, bro. He was hilarious. He was so good. He's like, oh, watch your back there. Yeah. I was like, yo, he's killing it, bro.
Every time I hear him talk now, I always think of that National Geographic one where it's the little lizard being chased by the snakes down the beach. You ever seen that one?
Yeah.
And it's him doing commentary, and like every time I hear him talking, it's like, man, and then also the thing that with Bully Ray being out there, and I thought, man, just like I just thought they on night 2, it just felt like everything worked out. Bully Ray telling them how to do the thing, and then like, hey, what's up? And then boom, the 3, and then get the tables, the whole crowd going at it, because I felt like if there was one match where the crowd was kind of going to go, and I get it, there's violence and everything else there, but on night 2, that was the one match where there was really not a lot on the line. It was just a fight. Every other match, I believe, was a title match on night 2. So. So it's like that was the match where, and then it just
no, LA Knight and AJ Styles.
LA Knight, yes, I'm sorry, LA Knight and AJ Styles. But I even felt like that match hit better than that was the one. Those two could have been the Jay and Jimmy from night 1, and it felt like they kept pace with the night.
Well, I knew that once AJ, I'm sorry, LA Knight came out on the Slim Jim car, I was like, this is gonna be good. They're gonna do a good job, and I figured once he's driving, there's no way he's gonna lose because he's driving that car. I mean,
and his match is sponsored by Slim Jim.
Yeah. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay. And then we also predicted the Logan Paul winning it. Good call on it, because how are you gonna get your sponsor, like you got Prime all around the damn WrestleMania, and him to lose? So
dude,
that was
Randy Orton punt that mofo. What the? Yeah, I guess he wanted to make sure he laid in the boot. Like and that guy sold it well, or he didn't know that he was going to get kicked, because when Randy Orton picks him up to give him the RKO on the table, he's like, no, just kidding, man. Just kidding, man. And you're like, damn, does he know what's coming? And then he took the RKO, so obviously he knew what was coming next. But it's just like,
and then Logan Paul posted something afterwards on
he watched the main event. He watched the main event and was like, they hit the music, and it's Cena, it's Undertaker, it's the pinfall, and he's like, pro wrestling, I love it. And it's true, man. It's like when going off the air, Michael Cole was like, pro wrestling, I love it. And then Pat McAfee was like, there's nothing better than pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Nothing. I mean, it's like, it gets you the highs of highs and the lows of lows when it's done right, man. You go up and you go down with every step of the thing. I mean, it's like, how many times were you like 1, 2? I knew Cody was going to win. At least I thought I did. And it was like, took a couple moves and I was like, no way. They're not going to do this again, are they?
And
then it was like, okay, all right.
And not only that, but you see the emotion from Cole, who was crying out there as well. Samantha Irvin
didn't even make the announcement at the end.
Yeah, she was like
she was cracking. I mean, dude, it's emotional, man. And I think a lot of this is to do with, they're not making it as I'm trying to say how, like, Triple H is in their ear going, okay, he's gonna pin him now. Act excited.
Yeah.
Nope. You're getting real raw emotions.
Hey, you're giving that
everybody, man. And it makes the product, to me, feel better because, again, when a ring announcer can't make the call because she's in tears, like, and there was so much hate for Samantha Irvin online. Like, even before that, there was people like, oh, I can't stand the announcer's voice. It's like, what do you mean? I felt like she added so much to that match, to WrestleMania.
Well,
the way she does the announcing and everything is just so emotional. She puts everything into it. She adds to the show. She doesn't take away from the show.
No, and you want to know what's the other crazy thing is that, remember that we have been talking about how WWE is going to that college game day, UFC type of vibes, like more in sports. And now that you bring up Samantha going ahead and getting emotional, it reminds me of the World Cup the 2 years ago or last year, where the Argentinian commentator, when Argentina won the World Cup, the guy got really, really freaking emotional, and that trended all around. And he was already famous the way it is. Andres Cantor is his name. But he also everybody was watching and saying, look, can you believe this guy? Look how he's getting emotional because Argentina won. And that was his, obviously he's Argentinian. So again,
everybody's like, oh, you're an announcer. You have to have bias, be biased. And, it's just like, look, man, when you go to a Dolphins game, like if you're in the media, you can't cheer. If you're in the press box, you can't cheer. You can't make a sound. Like, okay. But it's odd, man. Like when you go to the Hurricanes and same thing. It's like you're sitting here covering this team, and I get it. I mean, yeah, you can't. I get you couldn't throw a party and boom, confetti flies everywhere and all this stuff, but you can't just be like, damn, nice pass, good pass. Yeah, like. But I just don't understand why everybody's against so much. Like, why can't you show emotion? Like, to me, I love Kevin Harlan. Because he just lets it go, man. He tells you how it feels. It's again, sports and entertainment, pro wrestling, wherever the hell you want to do. It's about being emotionally invested in whatever the product is. And if you're not getting that emotion, you might as well just sell empty chairs.
Okay, but now let me ask you something, because this is a good topic here. We could talk good things and bad things about the emotion. Now, do you think the WWE did a good job in allowing Triple H to come down at the end and congratulate Cody for winning the championship belt? Because this could backfire. Like, why is your CEO all of a sudden backing up Cody? He's supposed to be not biased.
Yeah, but I mean, doesn't Dana White put the title around everybody's waist?
Yeah, but
you have the press conference and talk with them. Doesn't he high five Conor McGregor when he was winning? And he does. I mean,
okay, so we better see Triple H to be giving out. Well, he didn't go out there for Damian Priest when Damian Priest got the belt. He hasn't gone out when Bayley got the belt.
But WWE sends the thing with Triple H taking a picture as soon as he came back to the curtain. It's him with his arm around Bayley, him with his arm around Priest. Yes. And again,
but he
wasn't supposed to be called out. Cody did that on the fly.
But that's why I'm telling you, was that a bad decision by Cody or by WWE for him to come out and like he's being biased? He's basically showing more love to Cody, saying, yes, we did it, or congratulations, you did it. You're the boss. You're not supposed to be giving that much bias. Yes, you could celebrate. You could take pictures. He also took a picture with Cody in the backstage and everything, like he does with everybody. But was it too much? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I just
Okay, then let me ask you this way,
have
okay?
you ever
Because
seen Vince go
again,
out there and do that?
Vince would never do that. But also
Exactly.
here's the
That's
other
why.
thing. But here's the other thing. Cody would not have called Vince out.
True.
It is a different WWE. And at that point, the man that you just said, here's the face of our champion, here's the face of the WWE, the new face of the WWE. He calls an audible and he calls me out, and I don't go out. How do I answer that?
You don't. Or you know what? He could have been backstage and they could have had a camera on him and be like, "Look, Cody, congratulations, man. Thank you for what you've done." That's it. But he didn't go out there and do anything like that. Give him hugs and give him kisses and stuff. None of that stuff. None of that stuff, man. And you know what? Again,
But who's to say that this doesn't turn into a whole different story later on down the road?
true. I mean, that could be a possibility
Again,
because
things
you could
don't
use that
happen for no
eventually.
reason in the WWE
You
sometimes.
could use that because
And I
Triple
get it.
H.
He called the audible and he called him down. I think it was more of a sign of respect that you saw all weekend from the Hall of Fame with Paul Heyman to night one when Triple H came out to night two when Stephanie came out to at the end Cody Rhodes calling him out to Raw where Triple H is the first person you see in the ring and he introduces the face of the new era, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know. I liked it and probably didn't, but like you said, they could probably turn it around in the long run. They could probably sell it if Triple H ever wanted to do that
Yeah,
whole
but I also
Vince
think
type
you're
of vibe.
looking at it a little bit more than it needs to be.
Maybe
Because I ask you this. If Vince is in charge, is Damian Priest the heavyweight champion?
he is a big dude.
He's beating Drew McIntyre, the chosen one.
He is a big dude.
Vince
He is a
McMahon's
big guy.
chosen guy. He's going to beat Vince. He's going to beat.
Drew McIntyre was never.
Actually, let's put it this way. Let's even go further back. If Vince is there, is there even another title to be fighting for? Remember, that title came after Vince was gone.
Probably not. Yeah, probably not. But I think with Vince there, Cody does win a title as well because he brought Cody for a reason, and it wasn't Triple H who brought him. It was Vince. So
Yeah,
I
but
think
Vince
Vince
made the
saw.
call to have him not win last year.
Yeah. Yes.
Remember
but,
that.
But keep
Vince-
in mind, you're
Vince
bringing.
made that call because up to that point, that was not the call.
But if Vince wanted to, he would have never even signed him in the first place, and he did sign him. So I think he had bigger plans for
but
Cody.
the whole thing is you have him to a 3-year deal. If you want to stick it to him, you can stick it to him. You're just not extending him.
That's true. Andy Trapper does have a good point. Austin Theory would have won the title if Vince was there. Probably, most likely.
Yeah.
He won the tag team belt.
He did. And that was the weirdest thing, too, though.
No.
The weirdest thing to me was the way nobody even challenged him going up. It was them two by themselves up the ladder. It was like,
they're so good.
What the hell just happened there?
They're so good. They were just really good.
And then also, congratulations, Sami Zayn, the Rocky story. And now we find out he'll face Chad Gable
on Monday night
in Montreal. They pulled the AEW Dynamite.
Why? Why are you going all the way and putting it on a Monday night? Come on, man! Like that was.
You know what's going to happen, right?
It's not going to be. Something's going to happen. I think
Sami
it's going to
Zayn's
be
probably going to beat him with like a roll up, a cradle, something, and then he's going to snap, bro. He's going to snap or something.
Yeah,
I just feel like, or he'll snap during the match and it'll be a no contest. It'll be
that's what I'm thinking about. Yeah,
this is where Chad Gable snaps, I believe.
Yeah, it makes sense for him to snap because you saw how Sami was telling him, "Hey, look, I gave you the favor, giving you that roll up. I mean, that win.
It tagged you in for the win." I mean, he's like, "That's not a favor."
Yeah, so that was really good. I enjoyed that, and then of course. How can we not talk about Damian Priest, man? Last night when he came out with Rhea Ripley, and all of us were thinking Judgment Day was gonna fall apart, and now they look stronger than ever before. I mean, it's Judgment Day is doing so like they're kind of like bringing it back so much that even R-Truth wanted to be back in.
R-Truth came in on the picture. That was the greatest thing ever.
That was the best part.
R-Truth this weekend was just gold, bro. just gold.
He was so good.
Just gold. He shows up to the Slammies. He's got his own red carpet. You know, he does the Mitsubishi Eclipse
Yeah.
with the glasses, and he asked Miz if he ever had Mitsubishi Eclipse.
So good, man.
Dude. And then into last night, and you know, his tag team partner, you can't see him. And Miz is like, it's not little Jimmy, is it?
We knew where he was going.
His childhood hero,
We knew he was going to be
John
John
Cena.
That was good, man.
Dude, it's just fantastic, man.
That was really good. And then, I mean, shout out as well to, let's keep it real, NXT, man, showing face, because now we have a draft date.
Both their champions. Bam.
Yeah, man, great job. Dragunov did a phenomenal job against Shinsuke, and then obviously, this girl, what was her name? Roxanne Perez.
Yep.
Did a great job as well. Both of them really good. And of course, what did they tell us? The draft. We finally got a draft date as well. So now
25th and 20, what is it?
Damn, I had it written down.
23rd and 26th, I think it is. No, maybe the 22nd and the 26th, I think, or something like that.
Draft. No, I didn't write it down.
Or are they doing it the Friday and then Monday?
It's Friday and then Monday. I knew that.
Okay, so it'll be whatever that is. Okay.
But the draft is interesting because we're approaching NXT jumping ship from the USA Network to the CW. So now, are we gonna have some Raw and SmackDown talent make their way over and get signed into the NXT? Because you have to be able to sell that NXT.
Yeah. You know what I hope happens is I hope they give the Ricochets, the Cedric Alexanders, some of those guys some NXT, but you can't do too much because you still have to be able to send the NXT, you know, your talent through there and allow them to grow and become the next Trick Williams, the next Carmelo Anthony, next Roxanne Perez, Tiffany Stratton. I mean, when you look at everybody that's coming out of that Obi Fima, I think is his name.
Obi Fima.
Like, my goodness, man. It's just like, dude, it's
and they announced the women's
to see what they do, man.
They announced the women's North American Championship belt now.
Yeah.
So now you're probably gonna see. I personally hope Lola Vice wins that one, which I think that's probably the route they're gonna probably go, because that's usually.
I can see her now. Or who is she feuding with right now?
She's feuding with the one from SmackDown, the girl from SmackDown. What's her name?
Natalia, right?
Natalia. She's fighting against Natalia.
Natalia's the heel in that, right? Am I not right?
Yes, Natalia's the heel in that one.
So I bet you it might not be Natalia, but it might be the one that she's with.
Well, there's a lot of women that could actually win, because, like,
but I'm thinking, because then you have Lola Vice chasing at the beginning. You cheat her out of the title, and then she chases it to finally get it. It just seems like that's what they do.
I mean, there's also Lash Legend, who's actually the one who's getting involved with the Trick Williams and the whole Carmelo Hayes portion of it, that she could also win it as well. There's so many options in the NXT world. Also, this girl Rita, Thea Ham, the girl from Chase U.
Yeah,
they like her a lot, even though I hate her. I liked her character when she stopped being the cheerleader, but now she's back to being that cheerleader for Chase U. So she's annoying in my eyes. But they like her a lot. They like her a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised. That cheerleader thing, that gimmick, that character, I'm not a big fan of. But whatever. Some people like it. I don't. I liked her when she was more the previous character.
Is the draft compete with night? It probably will. I don't know. Is the NFL draft April 29th? Does it start April 29th, the NFL draft?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. NFL draft. Let's see. NFL draft. The date for the NFL draft is April 25th to the 27th. 25th to 27th, and
so it'll be night 2 will be the draft of so then we'll compete with it.
That's kind of, maybe they rushed it. Maybe they should have not rushed it. But
April, they got May. But see, they'll have you got to also do it between your pay-per-views, and they got 2 pay-per-views coming up pretty close together.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of time.
Plus, it's like WrestleMania is always like a reset. So now things start
it's
to
a
turn.
reset. You do the draft a couple weeks later. Unfortunately, it will be during that time, but we'll see what happens there. I mean, April 21st is Dynasty to Trapio. We'll get an AEW. Calm down to Trapio. He's like, no MJF appearance. Dynasty on the 21st.
Well, you know who I think is gonna make his way eventually to WWE. It has to be Ricky Stark, man. The way he was celebrating out there, he's definitely gonna go to WWE. I know he's injured right now, but
it's odd, man. And we'll talk a little more WWE. Is there anything else? Chat, throw in there if you're listening to us on X. We appreciate you listening to us on X. Jump on over to the YouTube channels, Stanley Media House. Hit the subscribe button, Frankie Fresco. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification buttons. We appreciate you watching us on X, but please subscribe to our YouTube channels as well. Plus, there's other content that comes along with that as a bonus. Any other things you want to mention from WrestleMania? I mean, again, we could probably do a 4-hour show breaking down every match and everything else, but anything else that you want to criticize?
Well, not criticize, but I think between WrestleMania and Monday night, obviously, I like the fact that now Liv Morgan is going to be Rhea Ripley's next opponent. I was talking to this with Memo. I had told him, I was like, I think that's one that could go up against Rhea Ripley. I like the fact that she threw the chair at her and knocked her, and then obviously that started the rift between them again. So that's probably going to be the next opponent for Rhea Ripley. And at the same time, I think they did a good job going ahead and setting up Jey Uso versus Damian Priest, right? I think it's not too much, not too much for Damian. I do want to ask you this question though. Who should be Cody's first opponent in defending his new belt?
Don't let's finish up the WrestleMania thing. That was my next question.
Oh,
where I was going to get next is like, one, what's next with Cody? And two, what's next with Damian?
Well, Damian, we got Jey Uso.
I mean, yes, but is Jey Uso is that where they're leading to on this?
He's good. He's good for his first defense, and I don't see Jey Uso.
I mean, of course, they're gonna feed somebody to make you look good. That can make you look good and things like that, and also somebody that's worthy of it. It's not like they're gonna be like, hey, here's Cedric Alexander, and although Cedric Alexander I think deserves more, but that's beside the point. But
Cody throws me off.
Cody is the one where I guess we'll see what happens on SmackDown, man.
Cody throws me off a little bit because Cody, obviously,
I feel like, and I agree with DiTrapio. I don't know if it's going to be solo, but it's got to be. It's going to be Bloodline related at some point. It's going to be. Listen, supposedly Jacob Fatu is going to make a big splash wherever he goes, and some have said he's going to end up showing up in NXT and everything else. I mean. I could see him being the one that goes against Cody.
No, maybe on a Monday night or a SmackDown, but not on a live pay-per-view. No, I'm just confused who you could put.
Don't sleep on Jacob Fatu, man.
No, you can't just go out of the blue and just put him on a title shot. No, that's not gonna happen. On a Monday or on a SmackDown, yes. It's like Cody when Cody came to WWE
to fight somebody for a title on SmackDown. That's AEW-esque.
What are you talking about? They're having Sammy against Chad on Monday.
Yeah, but they've already fought each other. Like, I'm not Sammy. They're not debuting. Hey, we just signed Jacob Fatu, Cody Rhodes on SmackDown. You're gonna lose. Okay, Vince.
No, but they've had some times when they've had like,
you know what? You'll lose this week and we'll run it. No. What we'll do is this. It's your debut. So we'll make it a number one contender match. If you win, then we'll run it back next week. How about that? And then you'll lose then. But you'll win your debut. That's what we'll do. How about that?
I don't see Jacob Fatu going up against Cody first match. I mean, Cody, when he came to WWE, his first match was against Seth freaking Rollins in WrestleMania. It wasn't for a belt. And Cody's bigger, in my opinion, than Jacob Fatu when he first getting into WWE.
Yes, so I just don't see it. The title picture was already set. What's the title picture right now for Cody Rhodes?
But that was my question to you, because I mean,
again,
you have
him fight solo or whatever leading up to
weak, man.
And then you have Fatu or another one of the Bloodline members interfere.
Nah, man.
Here's the other
you know
question.
you know who they should give him?
Who should they give him?
L.A. Knight. Yeah, he won. He beat AJ Styles. That would be a good setup. L.A. Knight won't beat Cody, unfortunately, but that would be a good setup.
I don't know.
Why are you questioning my opponent here? LA Knight is a perfect opponent for Cody. He's not too big, he's not too low, he's big, he's a good pop.
Okay, they fight. Cody beats LA Knight. Where does LA Knight go?
Probably he could go back to a feud with somebody else.
Yeah, let me snap on a Slim Jim. Drive around in a car.
He could go on a feud. He could go on a feud with Randy Orton. He could go on a feud with Logan Paul. He could do anything he wants. That doesn't.
I think No Doubt's hit it. By the way,
no. It's too soon. It's too soon.
The draft is coming up.
Well, No Doubt does say SummerSlam, so maybe at SummerSlam, yes. But LA Knight challenging. I mean, LA Knight went against Roman Reigns. Did that?
I believe what I just saw Chad's comment just come through. I can see him doing more of that. The U.S. title, the
LA
IC
Knight is
title,
bigger than those two titles. LA Knight is way bigger than those two titles. Let's keep it real. That's a good one. What? Well, not Dirty Dom, but definitely Finn Balor would be a good one too. Maybe Finn could go ahead and be like, look, now that
depends on the draft if they move them over because they're on Raw right now.
True.
Right now, Cody is SmackDown with the title he has. So
now I would like Dirty Dom to get a championship fight, but they're not gonna give it to Dom. So
Dom's gonna be with Andrade for a little bit.
And he's already he's not. He won a feud because stupid ass Andrade tried to be slick and screw Dirty Dom over. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a feud between Dirty Dom and Andrade. Lídalo.
And I agree with what Memo's saying there is that the reason I say the Bloodline is because they're going to ultimately have to build back to the Rock. So you can't get too far separated from that and then just have the Rock turn up and be like, hey, we're back.
But do you really think a live pay-per-view, a main event, Cody versus Solo or Cody versus Jimmy? It kind of seems kind of weak in my eyes.
It's the same as Cody against LA Knight.
No, LA Knight is way better than Jimmy and also Solo. What are you talking about? That's a good main event right there. That's a good one. And Chad, I would say Cody versus Jay, but the problem is they're giving Jay Damian Priest already. So that's the only reason. Because I did think about that as well. I said maybe that's a good route that they could go.
How about Cody versus KO?
That would be good. I also felt like maybe Cody versus Randy Orton, but I think Randy Orton overshadows Cody. So I think, maybe.
Yeah, but they can do the old the teacher and the student type thing when they were with Evolution. Not Evolution. What were they? Oh, Jesus. What was him, DiBiase, and Cody? What the hell were they called?
I don't remember.
Oh, my God.
Drawing a blanket. Chat, help us out. Chat. Help us out here.
But so let me see. I'm gonna look it up real quick here.
While you're looking it up, I'm just trying to throw about spitballs out there. I mean, this guy, Shinsuke. No, I hope they do not put Shinsuke against him. Now you know who they could put, but again, he's Monday night. But Bronson Reed,
the Legacy. They're the Legacy.
Oh yeah.
Bronson. That's not talking about Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker is another one that they could actually bring over. That's not a bad idea. You could bring Braun Breaker versus.
I mean, with the way those two are doing in the tag team, man, they might bring those guys over as a tag team.
That's not a bad idea.
Braun Breaker. I think the Braun Breaker and Corbin are going to show up. I said Corbin Benson. I think they're going to end up being a tag team over there, man. The Lone Wolves. It could. Corbin reinvented himself and used Braun, and Braun bought in, and it's worked.
And not only that, but here comes now maybe Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman, because now what is Paul Heyman going to do now that Roman ain't the champion? Is he going to stick around? Is he going to move on?
That's what I was saying, like with the bloodline, and kind of like Chad said, Jay gets. I don't know if Jay gets the title and becomes the new head of the table and all that stuff. I don't know if all that's in the works, but I feel like ultimately, again, if the ultimate get back to somehow is going to be Rock versus Roman, at some point, somebody's got to turn on somebody.
Yeah, but you're not gonna get Rock versus Roman, or Rock versus Cody until probably next WrestleMania. So we got a long way. We gotta buy
See,
some time.
I disagree. I think you get it before that.
No,
I
especially
guess.
especially the way the Rock was talking. I think this is gonna take a while
I
before he
think
comes back.
I think you'll get it at SummerSlam because he's got 2 movies filming that wrap up in June, July. He comes back to get ready for August, and then I think he's got movies at the beginning of the year.
WrestleMania, perfect time
Could
for.
make it let go there. Maybe he just runs out and nails Cody like they did the John Cena setup with Rock and John Cena for a while.
True.
Do that, you know. I mean, again, that's where, like, this was where my issue with Cody winning the title was, because it's like there's no more like Cody LA. It's going to be a good match. But it's not.
And I heard Seth
And-
Rollins is
and
gonna
it-
take some time off. So I want
Yeah,
to
it's
see
just.
that
I
for
mean,
him.
just nothing. Cody. You know, I'm not saying that you can't build something to where you get my interest. Don't get me wrong. But right here, right now, today, there's nothing there that I go, all right, I'm in.
I mean, the only people I like I said, maybe Randy Orton.
Yeah, but
I don't.
even with Randy Orton, you've got to show me that story. Like,
Oh, they could build
it
something
can't just
around it.
be like, you know, like a respect. It's got to be deeper than respect for each other. Like, I understand, like, a respect match gets you SmackDown and Raw. Like, a pay-per-view match, main event, it's got to have something on the line. More than just a title. Like, that's the problem. Like, every time Roman defended the title, it was like, oh, this could be the end of the bloodline. If he loses, it's the end of the bloodline. So you always had that in the back of the story against Sammy, against Jay, Cody, KO. It was always somebody trying to bring down the bloodline. It was a built-in story. Now Cody has finished that one story, and as Rock said, our stories just began. But who's that story now? And I see what DeTravio says, MJF. Maybe they say to MJF for the SmackDown after WrestleMania.
It's just MJF, man. Everybody wants MJF in WWE, but I don't know, man. I don't think I'm going to see MJF.
I got to believe with everything that they did with MJF at the end, he's already signed to AEW for a little while.
I hope so.
All right, let's dive in. You want to go switch over? Or you want to keep going here?
Before we switch over, one last thing. Jake Cargo, right?
Yes.
Goes out there, The Rock, Cody take too long. They push their match, and then Jake Cargo does a quick. They had to push her match, and then it took like 2 seconds that match. Do you agree? Do you agree with Jake Cargo getting a match, getting pushed like that, and just getting a match for like 2 seconds, and then moving on and just showcasing her like that? And how long can they go with this? Because remember, they just showcased her in Royal Rumble, they showcased her in WrestleMania, now they showcased her on Monday night.
Yeah.
Where are they getting with this? Where are we going with Jake Cargo? Like, Jake Cargo is the Storm, right? So where we at with Jake Cargo? What can we expect? Who's going to be the first person to see one-on-one in an actual legit fight, not what we saw yesterday, in your opinion?
I think they did well last night with the perfect person, by the way. Chelsea Green is the person that you can go out there. She can lose in 3 seconds and still be okay. Just because of the character, the Karen character that she does, it's perfect. To answer the other question, I think to be safe, you put her with an Asuka or even a Dakota right now. I think it's gonna be somebody and then again, it might change depending on the draft. If you ask me today, it's gonna be somebody on or actually no, I take that back.
Well, Dakota, I feel Dakota.
Raw, Dakota and them are SmackDown. Hold on.
Well,
Let me rethink this.
I see Dakota and Bailey possibly being next for Bailey as her opponent. That's why
I don't think
see
Bailey just because Bailey's a champion. I don't think that she gets the title push yet.
No, but there's history between them. And remember, Dakota betrayed Bailey.
Oh, you mean Dakota against Bailey?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant Dakota, Bailey, Dakota or Bailey versus Jade as the
No,
next.
no, 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 no.
Okay,
I
yes,
I
no,
think
I can see that. That's
yeah,
a good built-in feud there, and you still keep the whole damage control involved, and
yeah.
so it's within degrees of separation there.
Oh,
Because Jade, I think Jade is SmackDown though, right? I'm so confused
yeah.
because
Jade is
it
SmackDown.
came
Yeah,
out on Raw this week
yeah.
because
She was a
it
guest.
was about the whole thing about the draft,
Correct.
because after that they talked about the draft, and then she came in there. So yeah, no, I think it might be Asuka. Asuka,
Really? But
yeah,
Asuka's still a champion with aren't they the tag team champions?
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I think she'll be. I think it's gonna be like her and Naomi or her and Bianca.
Oh, so them feuding for the tag team
Yes,
belts?
yeah, but I think individually, again, leading up to the tag team match, you'll get some Jade versus Asuka because I think Asuka can work with her.
Did you hear the on Busted Open Mark Henry talk about Kylie Zane and how he felt she was disrespectful? Because apparently she was parading herself on the ring during WrestleMania Day One when Bianca, Jade Cargill, and Naomi were coming out, and they were like, he mentioned about it. I don't know if you heard it. He mentioned
I think I
about it.
saw a clip of it, but I didn't understand like the whole thing.
Yeah.
I never paid attention to what Kyrie was doing. I'm not gonna lie, I don't
So
know.
so apparently Kyrie was I don't know the rules of wrestling, but he goes and he says that when they were coming and like strutting themselves heading to the ring, Kylie Sane was inside the ring running around, still showboating and all that stuff, and he felt that that's disrespectful. That typically you're as the opponent or as your opponent is coming into the ring, you're supposed to get out of the ring and just respect their time because it would be messed up if they did that to you. Now I'm asking you, is that right? What he was saying, is that something you're supposed to do? Because I mean,
Well, I go back to if you think about the first match of that card,
uh-huh.
Drew McIntyre got out of the ring when Seth's crew was going around.
Yes, he did.
Mhm.
And that was kind of dumb that
Yeah,
crew
oh, I
like
think usually you'll stay in just a corner and just kind of stand there like a pole
yes.
and let everything happen, around you. But I think because the way Seth came out with all the things and all that, he kind of gave out. But I mean, either way, you do not draw attention to yourself if somebody else is coming out. Because again, and then also especially at WrestleMania, because WrestleMania is about the extravagant entrances.
Well, he
You know?
mentioned that, right? So Dakota Kai comes out, I believe it was either on X or on IG, and she kind of tweeted it back at him and
Well,
saying,
the
"Yo,
other thing is too, you don't know what the situation, what was being told, what they were going to do. Like, I mean, that's where the hard part is. Like, is that part of what the match was going to be? Like, I don't know what the buildup was. But go ahead. What'd she say back? Go ahead.
No, she basically said that Kylie Zane is a professional and a business person, and she's not the type of she was doing her thing, like that was
Yeah.
what she was doing, but she's always been a professional in the wrestling ring and everything. So she was kind of mentioning that too. I don't know. I'm gonna try to look it up online when now that we're because I don't remember exactly what she said, but something like that
Yeah.
in those
But I
terms.
mean, it's one of those slippery slopes. Whereas, like, the one thing is that I think where Mark Henry's coming from is what that moment represented,
Hmm.
and I think that's more where he's hitting at. Like, that was a moment you shouldn't take away from.
So look, it
But
says
if
here.
anybody's upset about it, Jade and them should have, maybe behind the scenes they did. But I mean, to me, it's like fans and media and Mark Henry, who's a WWE legend, Hall of Famer, and
Oh,
everything else. But
okay.
like,
So I see here, and I'm sorry to cut you off.
no, no, go ahead.
So it's them three come into the ring, right? And Kylie Zane stays for like an extra second or two inside the ring while they're like presenting themselves in the ring. So he was upset that you see Asuka and you see Dakota just step out of the ring like on the side, like
Yeah.
what you said, that they always are like in one edge of the turnbuckle, so they just walk out. Kylie Zane doesn't do that. Kylie Zane keeps walking to the opposite side and then steps out. So Mark Henry was pissed about that, saying, "Yo, that's kind of like disrespectful that you did that."
I mean, if 2 out of 3 did it, but again, did Kyrie Sane get lost in the moment too? Like, I mean, you're at WrestleMania, man. Like you sometimes, I just think it's what that moment represented. And I think that's what got him more probably in the feels than anything.
I don't know. I
Should
thought,
Kyrie have walked across during their no.
okay, and this is exactly what Dakota Kai said. I love and respect Kyrie Zane. Um, and she loves and respects this business. That's what she basically said. That was her exact words. So
But she probably made a mistake.
maybe, or maybe Mark Henry's maybe over exaggerating a little bit.
No, but
He
if you
went-
walked
he
through
went
their
in.
entrance, that's through their shot of their entrance. That because if it's in the ring already and they're being introduced, they're doing their thing, then I mean that's
If I forward the thing and show it to you, will we get copyrighted on it if I do that?
at this I'll just cut it out.
All right, hold on a second. So let me try to do it. Let me send you the link. So on X, that way you could see. Because I just copied it from somebody that I see them doing it. So that way you could tell me, and then you could tell me, Frankie, yes, it makes sense. This is kind of I'm gonna send it to you. So I send you the link through Twitter or through X.
Okay.
That way you could see what I'm talking about. And I don't know if you want to share it or not. Let me see if I could go on mine since I sent you the message. And then you can see it's very minimal. I don't know have you guys seen it on the chat board? Let me know if you guys have seen it. Because it's very minimal. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing out of this world. It just looks a little bit more like, hey, So is it okay if I share it? Because I pulled it up. You want me to share it? Try.
Yeah, I mean you can. Yeah, I mean it's
All right, so I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna
yes.
share it to you guys. That way you could see what I'm talking about. Okay, so hold on a second. Let me go here. All right, so I'm not gonna make it. I'm gonna mute it. That way people can't see it. Oh man, what is this? Okay, so here we go, and you'll see it right there. I'll make it bigger that way. Oh no! Whoa, 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 whoa! I should do that. Actually, I'm gonna make it small because I don't want people to. They usually copyright us if we put it big. But you see here. Let me see. Are you guys seeing it?
Yeah, they get
Yeah,
out
yeah.
there and then Kyrie is
Yeah,
told by the ref.
and then you see
walks
she goes
across.
all over there. Yeah, so you see how she goes over there. So he's making a big
I mean,
scene
the
for
only
the back.
thing that I would say would be a thing is watch Naomi. It changes up her entrance.
It does change your entrance. You're right. So do you think that's disrespectful that she did that? And Naomi does look at her. You see, Naomi looks at her like, "Yo, get out of here."
I think she got lost in the moment because you see, all 3 of them are dancing. Man, you keep messing up my stuff.
Sorry about that. I'm sorry. I had
So
to get that
all
out.
3 of them are dancing, making fun of them, and then the ref tells them, "Okay, out." They 2 go out, and she walks straight across, and she did interfere in the entrance though. But again, I mean, it's tough, man, because I don't know what was
That is
said.
a little bit shaky. It's a little bit shaky there. Now that you mention it, because you do point out the
I
whole.
mean, it
Naomi.
does change Naomi's, but again, is that part of, hey, when we come in, do this and that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't seen Naomi or anybody come out and say, like, when one of those 3 come out and say something, then I'll be like, okay. And I'm not taking, again, Mark Henry, legend and everything else, but we don't know what was discussed in the back. Was that set up to be that way? I don't know. I mean, it looks odd. It looks very odd from that thing there. And when you look at Naomi, she does make a gesture.
She does.
And the other 2 just get out right away. And she could have went the other way and been right out of the ring. Instead, she walked all the way through.
I don't know. If you were in that position, if I'm Naomi and I look at her, I probably would have been pissed a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
But I don't think
to interfere with what my entrance is at WrestleMania. That's our moment. That'd be like Cody coming up out of the Cody Vader and getting attacked before he can take his mask off by The Rock.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get the full force of what that moment's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, like it's
I could get Mark
and
Henry saying
again,
that.
it also goes back to what that represented. You know, the three women in the ring at the same time. Like there's a lot of representation there too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
More
saying?
more
And
than
so,
wrestling too.
yes, exactly. No, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You know, that was a historical moment for WrestleMania. I mean, you know, three powerful black women in the ring at the same time.
We'll see. Maybe it's nothing, but if Naomi does come out and say something,
My thing
or
is, if Naomi or none of them come out and say anything, then water under the bridge.
yeah, okay, but
Water under the bridge. And
I can
maybe
agree with that.
afterwards they said something about it, or maybe they said something to Mark Henry, so Mark Henry makes something out of it. Mark Henry didn't get this out of nowhere. Mark
Point.
Henry is not sitting at WrestleMania going, what the hell is Kairi Sane doing there on the entrance?
That is a
Somebody
very.
had to point that out to him at
That's
some
a,
point.
do you think somebody mentioned something to him because he has a good relationship with Jay Cargo too.
Yeah, so
He
maybe
has a guy. I mean, they have that AEW
again,
connection. She has a good connection with him.
you say it, and then we'll just go along our business.
Wow, good point.
You know, again, so maybe that was their way of getting it out there.
Maybe there's more to it, but you know, in WWE they'll probably spin it. knowing WWE, they'll probably even spin it. They could actually spin it if they really wanted to. So, but yes, DiTrapio. Sean, is it time? Should we move on?
Oh yeah, it's time.
Oh man,
It's time for the main event. Oh, I'm sorry, I went Mark Henry on it. Sorry, my fault.
sir. So now we got some crucial things going on this Wednesday, sir.
Oh, it's a Tony Khan announcement.
Is it really a Tony Khan announcement?
No, there's no Tony Khan announcement. He made the announcement on Saturday night at 12:15 in the morning
When nobody was watching. What was the numbers? What was the numbers to? Do you have the numbers for
Hold
Collision?
on, man. Let me see if that came out.
That would have been so funny to see the numbers of Collision.
Imagine if they did better.
Well, man, it helped the West Coast because the West Coast was watching it around what? Like, it's a 3-hour difference. So
When was Raw last night?
10, 9. Yeah, it was like 8 o'clock for the West Coast. The West Coast probably had a good wrestling. And maybe they have bigger fans over there in the West Coast than the East Coast.
Wow, Raw did a 2.3 last night.
Of course, man.
Jeez, man. That's a big number for them.
I mean, come on, man.
Luckily, it went against the men's game, not the women's game.
I mean, there was a point in time right before the game started that WWE was trending. Like the first quarter was going up against the men. The WWE was trending higher than the college basketball game. That's how good Monday Night Raw was, and that's how many people are so invested in wrestling right now, which is insane. Whoa,
Very impressive number.
For Collision?
Yes.
At 11:30 at night?
11:30 at night.
Talk to me. Oh, sorry, wrong podcast show.
Yeah. 2:32.
Oh my God. Wow.
And that dropped from a 3:13 that they started with from the run over from the game.
Wow. All right, well, let's get into it. So
AEW did a lot this week. I mean, they were talked about on a podcast. They were big news Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They got talked about a little bit on Thursday. I mean, they were in the news cycle this weekend.
Okay. Let's talk about the elephant from the room, right? The Young Bucks are gonna present backstage footage of what happened with CM Punk. And CM Punk images will be apparently shown on these backstage.
They're gonna blow out his face.
Now, let me ask you something. Does this seem like AEW is reaching right now?
No, I don't know if it's a reach because it's going to bring ratings in for them, I believe. But my whole thing is like, what does it mean at this point? Like, what? Okay, we see CM Punk. He grabs, Jack Perry by the throat and he smacks him around a little bit. What changes?
Neither one of them are in right now in AEW.
Exactly. It's so odd to me. Like, I almost feel like, and again, We talked about Dynasty. At Dynasty, it's Young Bucks against FTR. Why are the Young Bucks presenting? I get it. They're EVPs. But if Tony Khan's so hell-bent on releasing this, why doesn't Tony Khan do it?
My only thing with this is they could probably spin it. So
they're going to spin it to be something with FTR because FTR is close with CM Punk.
Yeah, so maybe but in a way that maybe they could edit the video and then show them like maybe in the backstage when they're like maybe there's a scene where CM Punk is getting removed by security and then you see maybe the Young Bucks in the back laughing or something like that. That would make sense for them to kind of do, but that looks like too much work for AEW.
How about this? Because I still think Jack Perry is associated with this. Because I feel like the Young Bucks went out of their way on Wednesday night or whatever night it was to, say too much about the incident, the glass and, oh, it's real glass or whatever. They just made so many comments toward it. What if they show a clip and it's them talking to Jack Perry, telling Jack Perry to do all this so that he gets under CM Punk's skin?
That could be smart.
You can refilm that whole part because Jack Perry still, I don't care what you want to think, he's still with AEW. He's still getting paid by AEW. And he's doing the whole thing where he's the scapegoat. Like, what better way to bring him back in and be part of the elite with Okada and the Bucks and the scapegoat, Jack Perry. And all of a sudden you've got rid of CM Punk.
Now I will say this.
That's, to me, that's what you need to do with this.
Yes,
that other than that, I can give two shit. If CM Punk, picked him up and threw him through a glass-plated table in the back, I don't care at this point. If you would have showed it to me, if you would have shown me the brawl out stuff and then made an angle out of it, I would have agreed 100% with it.
Well, you were saying
controversy creates cash.
You were saying it that they should have gone ahead and done a spin-off of all this stuff and it would get ratings.
Yes.
No Doubt says this video, we wanted to see it last year and it made sense. So the only way they could actually spin this off is like what you said or myself. They do something. They edit something some way, somehow. They either put Jack Perry in there. They either put the Young Bucks, probably talk to the security guy saying, get CM Punk out of here. Something that intrigues them that will bring more interest than just showing what happened, because I don't care what happened anymore. I mean, I'll probably watch it and be like, okay, this is...
And on it, what are you going to do? Go against what CM Punk said on Ariel's show where all he said was, I choked somebody.
Yeah.
So what? It shows him punching Jack Perry more? Does it show Jack Perry punching him? At this point, who cares?
Yeah.
At this point, it's like, I don't care. If Jack Perry picks him up and locks him in a triangle choke and chokes out CM Punk, I don't care.
But you know something, Sean? You're right. This could possibly be a perfect time for AEW to spin an angle on this. They could capitalize on this footage.
How about this? You do this footage, right? Then you go to Dynasty where it's FTR against the Young Bucks. And who costs FTR the match? Welcome back, Jack Perry.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. And people hate Jack Perry. People don't like Jack Perry. It makes sense.
Point, a lot of people probably forgot about Jack Perry.
That is true.
Let's be honest.
Or they have to be able to incorporate something. I hope they just don't show just the video of what happened.
If they do, it'll be so Tony Khan-ish. And the only reason I say that is because, look, Tony Khan is whatever you want to say. They brought in this wrestling, AEW. It's brought back people to wrestling. It's done a lot of good. The problem is he manages from his sleeve. Like when he gets upset, if you say something about him, he retweets and comes back at you. Like, you're an owner of a company, man. You don't have to keep coming back like a 10-year-old kid in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, your mom's ugly. Oh, your mom's uglier. Like, bro, like, you have to get the last say. Why don't you worry about making AEW the best AEW can be and use this to your benefit? Yes, it got brought back up. Yes, I get it. CM Punk talked about it, this and that, but why not use that part to make your company better instead of sitting here and I feel like this is the way it's going to go is I feel like maybe Jack Perry might have got a punch in on CM Punk somewhere. So their thought is, well, we're going to make CM Punk look bad because Jack Perry punched him. And at this point, I can care less if CM Punk is laid out on the floor to sleep. I watched that in a UFC cage twice. If you would have showed it to me the week after, maybe I care a little more.
Yes.
But at this point, I don't care. I'm watching CM Punk have the best time of his freaking life right now.
Yeah. And you know what? You know what's the saddest part is that WWE are the main man at WWE right now. AEW had him. One of the biggest storylines right now going on where everybody's tuned in. CM Punk against Drew McIntyre. AEW had him. So it's like these are missed opportunities.
Can I
You're
go back
right.
and tell you something even worse?
Jay Cargill, another one, missed
Not only
opportunity.
that, but think about this. Let's go back to the WCW days. Let's compare that. WCW had Stone Cold. WCW had Terror Rising. WCW had Eddie Guerrero. WCW had Chris Jericho. WCW, however you want to look at it, wrestling-wise, Chris Benoit.
Rey Mysterio. They let all of them walk. They even had Scott Hall before he was Scott Hall and Kevin Nash before he was Kevin Diesel. They had him beforehand. They had Booker T.
They let him go and then they brought him back. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of those things to where, and I don't care. The one thing that WWE's always, to me, the mentality there is if you can make money, I don't care. I don't care what's happened. Can you make us money? Yes or no? Welcome back, CM Punk. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, if CM Punk comes back and they don't think that he can make money, they're not going to bring him back. They struck while the iron was hot. That shit just happened with AEW. Hey, Punk, let's wait your 90 days. We'll bring you back to the Royal Rumble. I don't have to wait 90 days. I don't have a no-compete clause. What? Hey, let's bring you out here on SummerSlam. Okay, no problem. It's just, it goes back to where, look, I know he wants to be, and this is the same thing Eric Bischoff did. He wanted to be so different from WWE that he went to guaranteed contracts. He gave guys, lighter schedules. He did all this, and what did it get? What did it get?
And I'm also gonna point out some things that I noticed last Dynamite as well. And we've been watching something in the WWE world that has been a breath of fresh air, which is the production. The production of having going ahead these different camera angles, and Triple H talked about it. These backstage stuff, these graphics.
Last night, man, when Rhea Ripley gets attacked, right? Dominic comes to her side. The camera comes in. He pushes the camera to the side, and it goes right out to the crowd and right to the ring. I mean, awesome stuff.
So now let's rewind with the AEW side. So the AEW side. Last Wednesday, Adam Copeland comes out, starts talking, and his microphone is not even working properly.
It's cracking.
And he's giving feedback, and he's like, "What's going on here? You're a big wrestling company. How in God's green earth are you having these issues?" You have Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay right now is one of their biggest attraction. When he does his move, when he goes like this and goes like that, there's no fireworks. There's nothing. That's just him. That's a perfect time to throw some fireworks for him as well, because he is your biggest draw right now.
Right now, he's their face, man. Right now,
he's doing a phenomenal job. Why don't you go and you do that? Like, why don't you go those extra steps in order for you to be able to stand out a little bit more? Remember, I talked about it a couple weeks ago. when they had Renee Paquette talking, and they kind of had like the UFC version where she's talking and then they're walking into the ring. I like that.
Yeah.
Bring those type of little wrinkles to make it more. Look, it's not about the die-hard wrestling. It's about how you can make wrestling bigger and better than what it is.
It's the production, man.
You
But that's the problem, though. AEW and Tony Khan wanted to be about the wrestling, and their in-ring wrestling is phenomenal. I'll never take anything away from it, but just that in-ring stuff doesn't tell a good enough story. You have some, the Edge and Adam Copeland and Christian. Of course, they could tell a story. They've got 40 years of freaking, but everything else is like a dream match. And unfortunately, with dream matches, yes, they're great to watch, but you've got no buildup, man. Like, I'm happy with the buildup they're doing with Ospreay and Danielson now. The only thing I don't like about it is I feel like they're doing this thing with Bryan Danielson where it's like, I respect everybody.
I hate that crap.
He's my friend. Like, at one point, I just want Will Ospreay to slap him in the face or something and be like, let's get this shit going. Like, I love, it's okay to have a great back and forth. I loved Ring of Honor, Mark Briscoe. Congratulations once again, the new Ring of Honor champion. 11 or 13 years to the date of when his brother, RIP Jay Briscoe, won the title. That's a story, man. That's the stuff you can get behind. Every time it went for a pin, it was 1, 2. They kicked down. It's like, oh, the whole crowd's like, God, I thought he finally had it. His dad jumped the rail 3 times thinking it was over. Like, those little things mean so much. And I feel like, look, yes, you guys kick ass in the ring, but you got to do more than just the story in the ring. And there are some in there that tell a great story in the ring. The Hobbs Ospreay match, fantastic storytelling inside the ring. But why couldn't we? I don't understand the whole thing about the Callis families got to fight each other.
Well, even Lance Archer, finally, he had a great match with Bryan Danielson. Yes. I did think they did a really good job with that.
Yes.
But here comes the mistakes again. So you got the signing of the contract, right? You got obviously Samoa Joe and Swerve Strickland. Great signing. You have the where he gets the chain and he punches him and makes him bleed, and then all that vignette as far as like him signing with the blood on his face, signing the contract and all that stuff. I think they took that from WWE, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Like little snippets of there. But that doesn't matter.
WCW took it from NWA. It's been around forever.
Looks great.
Although nobody's taken like 6 pounds of blood and put it on the contract.
No.
Like he did, but that's all right.
But looks great. They did a good job. A phenomenal job.
Yes.
But then here comes Dustin Rhodes. And they do a phenomenal vignette right now where he is, telling him it's my time. I'm doing this. I am still my whole career. I've done this. I've done that. It was a freaking awesome clip of him selling himself that he deserves the AEW belt, that he deserves that match. And then you put it for Wednesday Dynamite, and that just in a couple weeks we're gonna have Samoa Joe versus Swerve Strickland. What makes you think that Dustin Rhodes is gonna win this match? Like, it's just and knowing how they're so in ring, it's everything in ring. I highly doubt that Dustin Rhodes is gonna beat Samoa Joe for the belt.
The thing I would think of is Swerve costs Samoa Joe and it becomes a triple threat.
I hope that's what I'm hoping.
But I don't, again, it goes back to the whole thing. That at least tells a story because Swerve would come out and cost him the title.
Correct, but it's still kind of weird because Dustin has been so irrelevant for him to all of a sudden now win the belt.
I felt this was the same thing as, like, all of a sudden on Saturday, it's CM Punk, the video release, and then this release of Dustin cutting the promo. Mm-hmm. It just felt like we need to be talked about. Let's get them talking about us. And it's like, and look, I mean, that was kind of on Twitter and on X. That was the thing Sunday morning leading into night 2 of WrestleMania and the Slammies. It was the talk of them releasing the video. So they did get a little bit of rub there. But now you have to come through with this. And again, they asked Tony Khan, he's like, yes, we're releasing the video. But like, what are you expected to get out of this?
Be smart about it.
I mean, again, I don't care if CM Punk gets punched and dropped. Like, at this point, CM Punk has moved on. He's a main event guy in WWE now. Like, it doesn't matter what happened, 6-8 months ago now? Mm-hmm. At this point, what are you going to do? Hurt his feelings? He's having the time of his life. Mm-hmm. You know, Jack Perry, you've made Jack Perry irrelevant since this issue. Although he shows up in New Japan, he rips up his contract for AEW, trademark scapegoat, and all this stuff. But I mean, you haven't even mentioned him. So at some point, if you're going to make this make sense, and the Young Bucks this week started, you know, again, whether it was shots at CM Punk or maybe it's shots that Jack Perry's coming back, they made references that happened during that issue. So I'm hoping that it's going to be more of the latter of them bringing back Jack Perry and making him relevant without him having to be there than it is, here's the video of CM Punk.
I agree, man. They need to do a twist, and if they're gonna get after selling this Dustin Rhodes promo of him wanting the belt, you're right. I was thinking the exact same thing, that there's a way that Swerve costs the championship belt and they make it a triple threat match for.
I mean, the only thing I thought of too was this.
Makes sense.
And then again, this goes, you know, back to where, what if Cody didn't finish the story? What if Cody couldn't win the world title? On Wednesday, Dustin does win the world title. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I honestly thought like that would be TK's FU moment to Cody too.
Probably.
But remember, it was their decision to make Cody to where he couldn't win the title. Remember, that's when MJF turned heel. Remember, it was Cody gets a shot at the title. If he wins, then he's the champion. If he loses, he never gets another shot. And that's when MJF turned on him.
But I think they sold him that whole TNT belt, and that's why he accepted that.
They made the TNT title after because TNT wanted a belt. So,
yes,
but there's nobody better to put it on than your top guy.
Yeah, because he can't win the other belt. So that's why I felt like they probably said they probably told Cody, "Hey, look,
what you did with John Huber. When John Huber destroyed him, it made him that monster."
Yeah,
because he ran right through him, 3 clotheslines, and laid out Cody 1, 2, 3. He's your new champion, and you've made like the guy that nobody could beat. Bam, he ran right through him like nothing. And rest in peace, John Huber. And what was cool was seeing his son in a WWE ring this weekend. You know, I almost was going to be that jackass and been like, oh, I wonder if TK okayed -1 to be in the ring. You know, I wanted to be that guy to be like, I wonder if TK okayed that one, you know, but I wasn't going to do that. But it's one of those things where I think sometimes TK is just too emotional, man. Just too emotional. You this is an emotional industry, but the people running it need to understand that sometimes you got to say no. All right, you know what? Yes, I want to do that, but we need to take a step back. I'm very interested. Tomorrow, I think it comes out. The build up to WrestleMania, kind of the behind the scenes footage of how a lot of the stuff was coming together.
I saw that, yeah.
Because they go in, again, they showed it on the trailer, how in detail they go. I don't know. But up until that one point, it was Roman versus Rock. And then all of a sudden it was, no, we got to get Cody back in this. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, then this is what we needed. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm very interested to see how that played out because, again, normally that doesn't happen. Normally it's, we know what's better than the fans. They don't, that's what I think is different about Triple H. Is he going to listen to the fans every time? Probably not. But he was smart enough this time to go, no, this is a passionate cry from the fans. This isn't just a thing where next week we flash the bright light and they forget everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they made that change. And that's like, we talked about it all the time. Like, I feel AEW missed the boat with the devil.
Oh, it did. Yes, absolutely.
You had a chance where Tony Khan, you could have been, and I get it. It's the same thing WWE did with Vince McMahon and everything else. But at that point, you had people, there were stories and reports that people in the locker room were unhappy with you. There's all this stuff going on. You still could have had Adam Cole been your hand-picked person, but you could have been the devil. And then you had Adam Cole and the Undisputed, I keep calling them the United Kingdom, the Undisputed Kingdom as, your group that you run, like what Eric Bischoff did with the NWO. And that's probably the other reason he doesn't want to do it, because it's kind of like a Bischoff idea. But at some point, you don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Yep.
It just feels like you're waiting for that time where it's like, here's what AEW brought fans back, man. You made wrestling fun again for a lot of fans during a time where WWE wasn't fun to watch. You brought that product to our TVs. Yeah. But now I feel like you're just like resting on your like, it's just like, hey, here's our show. This is what we're going to do this week. And then also, which kind of fell under the radar because they did the releases on night one during the I think the Hall of Fame, actually. They did releases. Then one of the guys, he signs back because they cut him when he was hurt, and they're like, I thought about it. We're going to bring him back. They bring one back. Then the boys send out tweets about they had all these talks with AEW travel, and they were supposed to be this, but then they wanted to drive 3 hours. They told them we don't have a vehicle that can make it there. They were ghosted or whatever. Again, 3 sides to every story. I get all that. But he said they no-showed events. And then they come out with, text and everything showing that they were trying to get to the event and they were getting a runaround in a way. Mm-hmm. And I get it. They're the boys. It's not like they're doing. But then when you hear the CM Punk story where he got left at the airport and nobody was there, like, I mean, come on.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that we could criticize.
And again, one thing too, real quick. TK may have no idea what this the travel's doing. I understand that. And that's one of the things that I hope he understands, that he doesn't have to do everything. You have people to do things, because I feel right now he's got his hands on too much.
I mean,
my 2 cents.
I read a report as well. Eric Bischoff, how he compared, and I know we've been comparing the WCW whole with AEW and stuff like that. There was actually Eric Bischoff compared Jake Cargill to Bill Goldberg, and he pretty much said, WWE just took their Bill Goldberg and is gonna blow up. But when AEW had their Bill Goldberg, they're available, and they just didn't know how to use it correctly and blow it up, because let's keep it real, Jake Cargill left a lot to desire in AEW. There wasn't a lot of fights that she had in AEW that you honestly would say, damn, it was a dream match. I never got to see her. She never fought Britt Baker. She never fought Thunder Rosa, and these girls were there, It just, it kind of fell short. And again, we're hoping that AEW takes a twist and becomes. I mean, their shows have been not bad. The last couple,
fantastic.
Yeah,
man.
It hasn't been bad.
Are there mess ups? Are there yes, happens in WWE too. By the way, happens in New Japan. It happens on the Indies. It happens in NWA. It's going to happen. It's a live art performance. I mean, yes,
But we're hoping that maybe, just maybe, they're able to get their shit together and they could start developing good storylines. And I know we're going back into this, and I might be bringing it back, but it makes perfect sense for them to edit this video. They went this route. Just be creative with it. Don't just show us the video. I don't want to see the video. I want to see something implemented. I hope they do that. They don't, believe me, you and me are gonna be criticizing them next week as well. We're gonna be like, okay, again, they dropped the ball. Same thing with the Dustin Rhodes. Let him win it. Screw it. Swerve costs the belt on Samoa and Dustin wins. And not only that, but they need to be shady. Cody Rhodes is the biggest freaking wrestler in WWE. What? It's gonna look good for AEW that his brother has a belt in AEW, the biggest one as well there. Take advantage of it. Like, don't be stupid. Like, be smart about it and give it to him. Screw it. Give it to him. Even if he loses at the pay-per-view, at the Dynasty. But at least give him that moment. Take advantage of these particular little moments, and you did it already. You're gonna use CM Punk's footage. Might as well take advantage the opposite way and give a belt to Dustin as well. That way you have something to talk about. Both brothers, champions in different organizations. People are gonna talk about it. I don't care if one is bigger than the other. People are gonna talk about it. And knowing them and knowing how good Dustin has been, he could even say stuff about it as well, and like still even take shots at The Rock and all that stuff on social media, and people will tune in, man, because people are intrigued about it. This is wrestling right now is so cool. Yes. Wrestling is so everybody's so invested.
Just investment, but it's also about getting people emotionally invested. How about this? Even if Swerve comes out and says catches Joe, whatever. What if you have somebody come out in American Nightmare Factory sweatsuit?
Too much.
Why?
Too much. Why? Tony Khan is not going to do that. Too much. That's already too much. You don't need to do no Nightmare. Nightmare is at WWE right now. He's in WWE.
No, Nightmare Factory is the school that is feeding AEW, which is being ran right now by QT Marshall, which is signed by AEW in the back, and is also the current CCW heavyweight champion.
But what is the Nightmare logo? Is it the Cody Rhodes Nightmare logo? Is it their Nightmare school?
What does it matter?
It does matter, because you cannot be showing the Nightmare logo if it's a Cody logo in AEW. They're not. I mean, if they have the Nightmare school and all that stuff, okay, cool. Now that makes sense, but don't bring anything associated to Cody, because again, you're gonna separate it. It's kind of like what we were talking about with the whole.
Why separate it though? Why? Cody Rhodes is the most talked about thing right now.
True, but
why separate it?
Because at the end of the day,
is this: when Dustin wins the title,
he's not gonna win it.
No, but I'm saying, but if Dustin wins the title, you know what the headline's gonna be?
What?
Cody Rhodes' brother wins title in AEW.
Yeah, that's what's gonna be. If some way somehow that make it seem if he wins it.
But so then why not go extravagant in this? What does it matter? Even if you don't want to have a triple threat at Dynasty, then have Samoa Joe beat Dustin before the pay-per-view. And then now you've got Swerve and Joe. And I get it. Contract's already been signed. But if the contract's already been signed, then don't have a title match.
Yeah, no, I agree. That is, or if you're going to have that title match, you should have had it after Dynasty.
Yeah.
You should have never had it before. Again,
what
man.
What they should have done was, and again, they won't do it because it's a WWE idea. Why don't they have another one of those, the casino chip matches?
I like those. Those were cool.
No, I don't, it's not that I don't like it. But what if you had that on Dynamite and Dustin flukes up and wins the chip? Now he can cash it in whenever he wants.
I'm telling you, man.
At least that makes, again, it just
kind of like a Money in the Bank, because that's what that chip is, the Money in the Bank.
No, that's exactly what it is. This just feels like a rush job where it's like, hey, Dustin, if for some reason Cody doesn't win the title, we're going to give you the heavyweight title.
I don't think
if he wins, Samoa Joe's going to win, which everybody already knows Samoa Joe's going to win because we have Samoa Joe versus Swerve. I feel like it was set up to where if Cody didn't win, Dustin would have won.
Now, let me ask you this as well. There's a free agent now. He's officially a free agent, if I'm not mistaken, and that's Matt Hardy.
Yes.
He's gone. So what's gonna happen? Are they gonna re-sign him? Because Jeff Hardy's still signed to AEW,
Yep.
or does Matt Hardy walk off and joins maybe TNA, or maybe he goes back to WWE? What do you think is Matt Hardy's plan moving forward now that he's a free agent?
Look, I mean, I watched them this weekend, and they had lines, and the Hardys, I believe, are always going to be a draw. But I look at the tag team division in the WWE, and unfortunately, I don't see the Hardys being in that tag team division. And
Mhm.
you got the Creeds, you got AOD. I mean, they're getting those guys that are just like
DIY.
DIY. I mean, you got Miz and Austin, you got Miz and R-Truth, Austin Theory, and A-Town, A-Town Down. And then of course you can just throw anybody together. I mean, you've got Alpha Academy if you want. Now they've done something, I think, with Cedric Benson and the guy from what's his name? The Fab went with Bobby Lashley. The guy that was with her went and teamed up with Cedric Alexander. Now they team up on Main Event. I just feel like they're almost at that. They're younger Renaissance type tag teams. And then I mean, not even including NXT. When you look at NXT, they've got a few tag teams down there. So again, I'm not going to say no, they don't get signed there, but I mean, I don't want the Hardys to come back to be everybody else making a name off of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if they go back, it'll be more like, oh, this team beat the Hardys. This team, it almost like what happened at AEW at the end. It just felt like, okay, let's put the Hardys in with this team so that we can say they beat the Hardys. And it sucks to say because they're such a great tag team. I think they're better off going to like TNA or MLW or one of those.
I think what's happening in WWE is that they're starting to invest more on their young talent.
Yeah.
And the only people that are like older talent that are still in WWE are like the big faces. CM Punk.
It's funny as we say that, but when you look at who has the titles, I think everybody's like 40 or over, and it's funny. It's funny because a lot of the people that you're right, a lot of the money that is invested in the younger talent, but the older talent is still the face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like that's where the Hardys aren't coming in to be tag team champions. And I just don't think
they would be like a one-off.
Yeah.
I could see them as a one-off, but I don't see them like a moment. Like if, for example, in that ladder match.
Up at a Raw or something and get a big pop or something. But I think they'd be better like TNA. I think TNA needs some tag teams there. And also they would probably get a chance to do what they want to do. Yes. You know, and I think that's what Matt, I believe, thought he was going to get at AEW. But it felt like every time he started getting that, something would handcuff him. Yeah. It's very odd. Like they started the whole, the delete stuff, and then he got with Ethan Page and them, and then he broke away from them, and then Jeff came back, and then the Hardy brothers were together. It just never felt like anything ever got done. Everything just kept getting sidetracked.
Remember, he came during the pandemic, when everything was closed, and he was like the crazy. I don't remember his name on that, like the crazy Matt Hardy.
Yep.
And with when he was like controlling, like I think it was what are those drones, the drones and stuff like that. So, but you're right. It kind of like they always try to push him, and then it would disappear.
It's like they push him into something else. Like, oh, you're gonna do this, but then you lose a match where they own you now, and it's like.
I always felt like the moment he's gone down was when he suffered that really bad concussion in that Stampede fight. I think after that is when he started to kind of like they kind of stopped losing.
Again, I mean, that's the thing where concussions come easy, man. Hell, think about this. Mick Foley went on Instagram the other day and was like, "Hey,
on YouTube,
match is off. I took a couple bumps, and apparently I got a concussion." Just taking a couple bumps, there's no way I can do a match.
Yeah, so he was gonna have a 60th birthday match.
Yeah,
and he's
like, there's no way with what I wanted to do, I'd be able to do if I got a concussion just doing what I did. Like, I mean, like people don't understand. Like, yes, there's cushioning, there's padding under that ring, but it's still freaking metal and boards and like it's not a trampoline, man. I mean, WWE's got a little bit of bounce to it and everything else, but when you're working in these independent rings, man, you got boards missing, you got holes in there, you got, hey, watch the board in that left corner. That's why sometimes you'll see in a tag team match which corners are being used because there's probably a broken board in the corner. So you got your tag team partner there so that you never run the action into that ring, that side of the ring. I mean, those rings are hard, man. And I can only imagine Mick Foley doing a match in an independent and just, I mean, maybe there's been some improvements in the wrestling ring, but dude, there wasn't much help for me. And I can only imagine, I know for sure I had 3 concussions. I don't know how many other times I might have and didn't even realize it.
Well, you know me. I've never wrestled, but I have played soccer and I have played goalie, and I did suffer a concussion once when I got smacked really hard on the face with a with a soccer ball while I was blocking a shot. So I know the feeling. I don't remember what happened after that. It took me a couple of hours before I actually remember what the hell happened. Now, going one last thing about the AEW side, and I wanted to bring this up. It's the fact that here we go again, where we had a huge pop for the CEO, and again we have a collision where she's not featured, and now we have a dynasty where she's not featured again. So that high is starting to again fall down again, and this is my concern. This was my I don't understand why they keep doing this. Where she's part of the women's division. I hope some way somehow she shows up in this card. Like I mean, there's some
Here's something I'll tell you
there's
right
two
now.
women fights for tomorrow, so I hope she shows up some way somehow. You have Tony Storm out there, and you have Anna Jay and Mariah May. So they should be. Don't disappear for 4 weeks, and then all of a sudden I see her in Dynasty, because that's how you start losing momentum.
I think you're gonna keep seeing her. The problem is, I don't know if she's cleared to wrestle.
Well, then keep showing her in different aspects.
And I think that's what they're trying to do. But it's also hurting her in a way because, like, you're like, well, why aren't you doing more? Like what you're saying right now. Like you see her and you see her and you see her, and it's like, why aren't you doing more? But I'm thinking she's not cleared because the only time that she has been active is her doing her moves. That's it. She's taken no moves from anybody else, not even getting pushed or anything like that. So I'm going to say, for the reason she's not going to have a match at Dynasty would be because she might not be cleared to wrestle. She may be cleared for ring activity, but she might not be cleared to have a match, which is why they're doing, I guess, the best they can do with it. But it just, like, I don't know how long you can do the CEO thing, man.
And then look, Okada, he wrestled last Wednesday. I think he wrestled last Wednesday. But I think he wrestled against
But Okada, you're seeing his personality with him doing the English and the heel type.
Yeah, they're all
Will Ospreay is knocking it out of the block.
Yeah, he is.
And again, you had her debut. It was big. It was what it needed to be. It was in her hometown. And now it's the Adam Copeland treatment.
So sad, man. So sad. The Adam Copeland treatment. Where is that? I mean, where is Adam Cole? Where is he?
Apparently, he's been wrestling for 13 years now. It's in our tweet on night 2 of WrestleMania that it's 13th year in the business. But again, that whole the Undisputed Kingdom, the devil thing, like this is where I worry that MJF really isn't going to resign because you're not pushing that group. You're not mentioning anything about what they did to MJF. Like not even being like, we put the scumbag, out to help you guys. Like any mention of it, there's nothing. And to me, that is odd. Unless he's freaking gone. Again, like if you're holding it this long, like then why do the whole devil segment, the whole devil thing for 4 months to get to where in 4 months you've killed the group that was the devil, which was the best thing you had going. I mean, I'm not a businessman. I'm not all this stuff, but like I would not have done that unless you're signed.
Yep.
Sign the contract and we'll give the push. If not, then you're going to drop the belt, man. It goes back to like everybody. It goes back. Look, say what you say, whatever. We know Vince is a terrible person. But the one thing he wasn't going to do is let his title leave his company on a handshake. Like, I get it. You're Bret Hart. You're my guy. We're always good. I can't take that chance. I can't take that chance of you showing up like Medusa and taking my women's world title and putting it in a trash can on the competition's TV. I can't take the chance of you winning the NWA title and then christening it the ECW heavyweight title and being another company. And that's what Shane Douglas did, which started ECW. Like, I get it. Samoa Joe won the title, so the title didn't leave. But your hottest angle and everything that your TV was pushing everybody to took a shit.
Yeah.
And you've got nothing to show for it. Like, I just can't believe that. And I get it that, you know, we always say it's, I mean, maybe Tony believed maybe he pulled the LeBron and Pat Riley thing. Like, hey, LeBron won't leave without telling me and I'll wait for him to tell me. And then he's not going to tell me. And then I find out and now it's too late. Like, if that happened, like TK's got to look at himself in the mirror and be like, never again. Okay, you got me, but never again. This doesn't happen again, because like, look at what has happened since. What good has come other than the 3 signings, which you spent over what? Well, supposedly Okada's $4 million. Ospreay's probably $2 to $3 million. Plus you're flying them UK to wherever you're at. So you're spending a lot in travel as well. Mercedes Moné's at least $3.5, $4 million. You've got $10 million probably in those 3 personalities. And what have you gotten in 4 months? What are we talking about? We're talking more about a CM Punk video, and we're talking more about Dustin Rhodes than anything else you got going on.
Not only that, man, but you got wrestlers out there that you've never seen, that you don't see him anymore. Where's Miro? Where's Moxley with his blood and bleeding everywhere? Where's Britt Baker? Where's Adam Cole? Where's all these guys that you've invested? Where's Keith Lee? Where's all these guys? You know, like
he was on TV, on WWE TV, by the way.
The Young Bucks were on WWE as well. Did you see that?
But during the Hall of Fame, they were talking to, who were they interviewing? Somebody, and Keith Lee walks by, and then they called him the other way. So he turns dead into the shot and like, oh, that way, okay. And everybody goes freeze framed and like, look at Keith Lee getting more WWE TV time than he does in AEW.
Sad, man. Sad.
Let's see. Josh jumped in. He said, Triple H makes everybody unstoppable, which is dumb. F Rhea Ripley. Man, Josh, buddy.
Damn, a little bit strong there, huh? A little strong there, Josh.
He doesn't make everybody unstoppable. I mean,
he just took over the company.
Roman Reigns, yeah. I mean, Roman Reigns was positioned that way.
But that was Vince.
And Rhea Ripley, I think, has earned that right. I mean, with her gimmick, and 2, she's just a badass.
Right now, who is to the level of Rhea Ripley? And you just had Damian Priest win the belt. Like, Judgment Day right now is riding high. You can't take the belt away from her. Doesn't make any sense.
Think about it. If everybody's unstoppable, Gunther lost.
Yeah.
Roman lost.
Yeah.
Who else is unstoppable?
Yeah. And give me Jade.
Hey,
yeah.
you know what? Maybe that's coming down the line, and they set up for that.
It's too soon, Josh.
Yeah. You can't throw her in. And that's look. Here's the one thing. Excuse me, real quick.
Oh, coughing right there.
Sorry. So the one thing where, like with Bischoff, I'll say this about it's different with Goldberg and Jade for the fact that Goldberg had William Regal, had Hugh Morris, had a lot of guys that could carry him to and elevate him at the same time during a match to make sure the match went as it was supposed to, but then also to get Goldberg to the position of what he needed to be. I felt like the problem they had with Jade was, one, once she got to the position to where maybe she could handle a match like that, Britt was in another feud with somebody else. Jamie Hayter, was, I think, becoming the champion. I'm trying to go back and think in my head of when everything was going on. And then also, like, Thunder Rosa was gone. Like, I think the ones that could be there at the time when she became available and ready to be that person wasn't there. Yeah, you had Red Velvet. You had, Kiera Hogan and them there. But week in and week out, you couldn't verse the same ladies. And I feel like that kind of got lost in the shuffle. And then Hayter gets hurt. Britt Baker goes down. And now it was a lot of the unknowns. And I think that
but what about
a lot of that took a back seat in the AEW run. Not saying they couldn't have thrown her to the wolves with some of them and been like sink or swim. I mean, that's kind of what WWE did, but they protected her as well. They put her out there at WrestleMania like, hey, sink or swim. This is what you got. This is what we're going to do with you. And this sink or swim. And she swam. Sometimes you don't know how good you get until you wrestle somebody and you're like, okay. Or you look at it and you go, okay, I got a lot of room to improve. And that happened to me. I fought Roderick Strong. And when I was done, I was like, I'm nowhere near that level.
But check this out. There's so many women in the AEW that AEW misses the mark on them. Athena. There was a point in time when Athena was big, and they were selling Athena a lot.
I'm not saying they missed the mark on some of them, but when you look at what happened, I mean, and this is the funny thing too about AEW is I felt their women division was on fire for the longest time, and then they let the fire just go out.
I mean, of course they've let the fire go out. Look at some of these women that they haven't even showcased. Where the hell has Ruby Soho been? Where in God's green earth has been Soraya? Soraya was a big pickup. She was all in a big star when she won the belt over there. And then what did they do with her? They let her just sit and rock. I haven't seen Soraya in a while. Like Soraya, bro, like come on, man. And there was a big pop for her. I mean, they randomly just start bringing
that
people.
Would have been the one to team up with Jade. That would have been the one. Paige and Soraya and Jade would have been probably pretty good.
And you see the same people wrestle every single time. They have the women there that I mean, they there was a point in time when they showcased the hell out of Hikaru Shida. Where has she been? I have no idea.
She's on Ring of Honor. She just did the main event Friday night.
Oh, really?
Oh, sorry, the semi-main event against Athena. Athena against Shida. That's the problem I have with some of the stuff they're doing too.
I haven't been paying attention to Ring of Honor, to be honest with you.
But that's the thing. It's like, and this is where I go back to what I said many moons ago: is you can't have Ring of Honor on AEW, and you shouldn't have you got to make it one or the other so that, like, make the appearance mean something. Like, it's odd to me to have. On AEW, it's Kingston and oh my goodness, why am I drawing a blank?
What are you talking
Mark
about?
Briscoe. I'm sorry. Kingston and Mark Briscoe come out to help Adam Copeland. 3 days before they're going to go to war for the Ring of Honor heavyweight title. And then it's announced before they get to the mat that they're going to be in a 6-man tag against the House of Black at Dynasty. And these are the same 2 guys that are fighting for the ROH heavyweight title. It's like you're running 2 different shows.
And Sneak Attack makes a good point. They definitely dropped the ball on Ricky Stark.
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. But also, I think that is punishment. I'm not going to lie. I think it's punishment. Your boy left here. Sorry.
Oh, man, it's
Samantha Irvin tries too much. No, come on, Josh. You're one of those guys. Oh, my goodness. Oh.
He's one of the Samantha Irvin haters.
Oh, Samantha Irvin haters. My goodness. I'll tell you right now. I want to drop a DM to her and ask her to record our open.
That would be good, actually. That would be pretty cool.
She's way beyond our levels, but my goodness, dude. I love the fact that she puts the word emotion into everything she does. She does different. The Chelsea Green, I love. Like she just. It's not the old. The problem is everybody's used to the old days when it was. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest: 1 fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first from New York, Frankie Fresco.
From New York, get the hell out of here. From Miami, Florida.
Florida.
How dare you?
Sean Stanley.
Oh, get out of here.
And that was what you got. And it's like, because somebody, and again, I get it. You like your Howard Finkles. You like your, I love the AEW guy, Justin Roberts.
Justin Roberts, yes.
I like those guys. I do. But I also like the fact that Samantha Irvin takes each person and individualizes them a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, she puts a lot of emotion where Ricochet comes out.
Every time she speaks. I hope your mute button breaks.
Oh, damn. Taking shots at Josh.
Josh just like, wow.
Don't be
goodness.
Sean, man. Some people just don't like her, bro.
Hey, I'm going to bring her on the show. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to try to get on the show. I'm going to be like, we got this guy, Josh, that can't stand your voice. So we're going to make him watch our show on mute.
I like her. The one I don't like too much is the one from NXT. I don't think she's that good. I don't know her name.
They also do the same thing there as they try to find the next Samantha Irvin. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
So, all right, Frankie, we've gone 2 hours and 12 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Let them know where they can get you. Are you back this week or no? 1 more week, right?
1 more week. Tomorrow, I'm actually doing a DJ gig, so I will not be available tomorrow. I asked my brother, I was like, Nick, do you want to go solo? But he's like, no, I'll wait for you. So
come on, DeTrapio.
DeTrapio didn't want to go solo tomorrow.
Oh,
but
my goodness.
It's okay. I mean, it is what it is. That's what we're here for. We're both together. It's a team effort. So I respect him going ahead and saying, Frankie, I'll wait for you to come back as well. So I appreciate it. So yeah, you could definitely catch our show. Let Me Talk to You. We'll be back next week, next Wednesday. What I might just do though, I might drop a video here or there for tomorrow. Sometimes we have the Speak the Unspoken, and I kind of have some stuff built up, so I might just drop a video, Speak the Unspoken, for you guys on my channel. And don't forget to follow my channel, Frankie Fresco. Fresco's obviously. Oh, the way that he are playing right now, I might have to. Yeah, I know. Jesus, I didn't want to talk about the Miami Heat. The way the Heat are playing the Miami Heat is just terrible, man. But yeah, you could definitely go ahead and follow me at Frankie Fresco. Fresco is Frezko. Just the Z and the K. Remember, because people might think it's the S and the C, but it's Frezko.
Like
and then you
Moss.
like fresco. Well, no, a lot of people. Lord, I'm not gonna go that route. Anyways, yes, and we also have Inter Miami. I know it's tomorrow's. Damn, bro. I'm sorry, guys. I wish I could do the show tomorrow. There's so many things going on. Tua working with John Beck. I know I saw Big O was taking a shot at me, or was gonna take a shot at me a couple right before I left the chat board on because yeah, we're not gonna go there, but Inter Miami is playing tomorrow. Damn. I wish I could do the show, guys. Sorry, guys, but don't worry. We'll recap it. I mean, Champions League was today. Oh man, great games.
Great
Anyways,
match, great game.
sorry, buddy. Chad.
I watched the Real Madrid one.
Sorry, yeah, that game was good.
Yeah,
I know, Josh. I know, John Beck, huh? Anyways, you can follow me at Fresco, Frankie Fresco.
Those
Fresco
who
Music.
can't teach. Remember that.
Okay, I just won't. I won't go there. I follow Omar Kelly. What will John Beck give Tua? What does he bring to the table? Yeah.
What not to do in certain situations.
Anyway, follow me at Fresco Music or Frankie Fresco channel. Thank you so much. Don't forget to hit and subscribe on this channel. We'll talk more wrestling. And also, guys, don't forget, new time. We're starting at 7 o'clock moving forward on Tuesdays. So 7 p.m. Squared Circle Digest will be on Tuesday, 7 o'clock. New time.
Yes, like you said, new time. 7 p.m. Tuesdays. You can check me out on Twitter, Twitter and X, same thing, aren't they? X, IG, and TikTok at Sean_Stanley11. Of course, we appreciate you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button for Stanley Media House and Frankie Fresco. I will be dropping a video tomorrow with everything I hated about AEW Dynamite.
Ooh.
Because I feel like it's going that route. I just feel like it's going that route. And if it's not, I will drop a video about everything I loved about AEW Dynamite.
Since I'm gonna be technically tomorrow I'm not gonna be DJing. I'm working with one of my friends as a DJ, so he's DJing. I'm setting up all the equipment and doing all that stuff. I might get on as well and DJ a little bit, but I'm gonna try to see, since I'm gonna be doing mostly the music production on the event. I'm gonna be in South Beach actually, so it's a big event for us. So it's gonna be a pain in the butt because when I do DJ gigs in South Beach, traffic there is and loading and unloading is terrible. But anyways, long story short, I'm gonna try to see if I could sneak and watch AEW on my phone while he's DJing and see what the cut is gonna be of this all in.
And then also, I'll be releasing NXT. I'll watch that here in a little bit. Release a video also on what I thought there, and a lot of wrestling stuff coming soon. And then I still want to get the sports talk going, and I'm still working on the NASCAR stuff. But I need to get something first okayed before I start doing the NASCAR stuff. And then also, I just got to be able to find a little bit of time. Tomorrow, don't forget, you can join myself, Big O. We will be at Caneswear, 10 o'clock in the morning. That's Caneswear, 2655 South University Drive. And come on out and say hi to me, Big O, and everybody else. Although both of us are kind of evaporating away. Got on the scale today. 32 pounds I'm down, buddy. 32.
I saw, so you guys, if you guys didn't know, but last Wednesday, I actually made a pit stop at the youth fair, and I did see Sean and Big O in person, and absolutely, Sean has lost quite a few pounds. I'm proud of you, sir. I need to start following in your footsteps and start working out as well. I've been slacking with my soccer, but I'll definitely be back. And I know when I do these DJ gigs, I'm always gonna be like freaking like losing weight because I have to pick up so much stuff and moving around. I usually end up probably hitting about 18,000 steps when I do these gigs.
Burn more than you eat. Burn more than you eat. That's all you got to do, buddy. All right, we want to thank everybody on X that tuned in. Don't forget, on X, you can also chat with the show. We get it here on the StreamYard, but of course, in our chat, we had No Doubt, Josh, DiTrapio, Sneak Attack 305, Cap for Life was in. We had Nicholas in. Mimo was in. Terry was in. Chad was in. I said No Doubt already, right?
Yeah. Well,
if I didn't, No Doubt was in, of course. We appreciate all of you. My dad was in, so appreciate everybody that was in Talking Some Wrestling. Every Tuesday, 7 p.m., this Stanley Media House YouTube channel, Frankie Fresco YouTube channel. That's where you want to be. We appreciate you joining us on X. And tonight, I will not have Paul Heyman say how we really feel about Frankie Fresco.
Oh, thank God.
So with that, we say good night. I'm just kidding. In the words of the great Gordon Solie, so long from the Sunshine State.
Final.